Hello and welcome. I am the last hit point hero, and you have found your way to TPK Roleplay. We are so very glad you're here and hope you enjoy your stay. Hey, it's been 12 months since Darkest Night, Brightest Light started, and I'd say we done a pretty swell job hitting birthday number one. Strahd's still alive, so main goals have not been accomplished, but cake for everyone, celebration for everyone. And oh, I hate to jinx it now, we only missed 2 sessions in a year. So how about that for slaying the scheduling demon? Yeah, boy. All right. Well, for just a few more weeks, we shall be playing our way through the Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition adventure module, Curse of Strahd. Long have they lingered in my land. Soon their journey must end. Safety tools are in place for the players, but you, as a viewer, do not have such a luxury. Oh, wait, I jumped and missed an entire paragraph. First and foremost, no attempts to make this stream child appropriate have occurred. While necessary changes to the problematic elements have been rewritten, this is still a dark and stormy gothic horror story. This actual play stream contains adult language, descriptions of violence, and some light gore, scary images. Scarecrows that yell and are full of human remains, um, exploding leech-filled zombies, standard issue. Um, so, our players are here to bring the light. Uh, Now is when I say safety tools are in place for our players, but you as a viewer do not have such a luxury. So if you have a sensitivity to any of those things, please do keep a teleportation spell prepped and readied. Barring the trigger for that readied action, kick back, relax, keep all heads, hands, paws, and claws inside the stream at all times. Slap that follow button to join the wonderful world of TPK Roleplay. Click the Discord link that I am just certain will spontaneously appear in chat at any moment to be a part of the growing community. And above all else, be good. That's the rule. Be good. So, in celebration of our 1 year streamiversary, I did not write canned introductions for everyone because I want to speak from the heart without looking at a script for a moment. It's been a year, and I have gotten to know this group of players fairly well. It's a very, you know, specific context that we know each other in, which is something to always keep in mind when you have friends on the internet. But it's been wonderful. So, beginning in the upper left, Niffer. And actually, I'm going to be grouping everyone because I think it's easier with how this all goes together. So, Gregory and Niffer, the two of you were in many ways my entry into playing games online. Uh, I had moved around a couple times. I kept losing D&D groups. I didn't have people to play TTRPGs with. I didn't want to just dive in with strangers, and so, well, I ended up diving in with strangers anyway. But it worked out very nicely. And through the mess of the last year, I made two just fantastic friends who are wonderful people who I couldn't speak more highly of. They are both just bright spots in what was an absolute mess of a year, and have brought to me this thing that I do a couple times a week that is it's great. It's an expression of creativity. It's an expression of joy. Um, it's fun. It's fun in a wonderful way. And the two of you brought me to it. And I will always remember the unstreamed Kids on Bikes game that we played, where the two of you were the perfect siblings. And someday we will have to bring that to reality in a larger forum because that was so much fun and it was such a blast to do. Continuing around, Noir is on his way. I'm going to say nice things about Noir without him here. Noir is one of the most go-getters I have ever met. over the last year, he has chased being an entertainer and succeeded time and time and time again. Every month that goes by, he takes another giant leap in this career that he's chasing, and has done so with a kind of a grace and poise of someone that is more concerned about the world other than just themselves. He's compassionate. He's wonderful. A good friend. I'm so very glad to have met him. Continuing around, we have Corndog McGraw. Corndog, from just a few weeks into knowing you, I learned that you are the pinnacle of strong compassion. I remember asking the first time what rogue was, because I'm not, I don't know if gym rat's a derogatory term. I don't spend a lot of time in the gym. And so rogue meant nothing to me. And so for me, that became initially this defining element of who you were. And it was very interesting to have in my mind the picture of, Corndog throwing weights around, while everywhere on Twitter and in the forums, they're just the most compassionate person, always looking out, always pointing toward someone else's voice to be heard, someone else's story to be heard, someone that is excellent at just being that voice of love in so many ways for the other, for those that you don't know, that you haven't met. You have been in the middle of a lot that has gone on in the last year, not just with the pandemic, but also with been going on just down the street from you. The recent events and verdict meant a lot to a lot of people, and it could have reshaped the way your city looked for, well, it would still be reshaping it in chaotic ways, but necessary ways. So it is, you are that strong compassion in my mind, and that's how I will always picture you. Going down to Rob. Rob, you are truly one of the oldest friends I have that I've stayed in touch with. It's interesting as I look at my life and has people kind of enter and exit your lives, and you have friends that you stay close to, friends that you kind of lose touch with and then get back to, and friends that were you were best friends, you just never talk again. But with you and me, there's we are that like rubber band of friendship, where for a few years we won't talk, and then it will bounce back and we'll be able to pick up where we left off. And so much of how I see the world beyond myself comes from our conversations and comes from who you are and what you've experienced. And that's always been so very special to me. So it's been really great having you play this game with us online, to come into your one and only streamed game, and seeing just how awesome you are at that. So all of you, I appreciate you immensely. I appreciate you deeply. I cannot describe how wonderful this last year has been. And it is this kind of sickly sweet feeling that I get as I prepare notes for every session. I see that my list of what needs done before the end gets shorter and shorter and shorter. So it not that when the campaign ends we never talk again, but it will feel different. So that is my unwritten, off the cuff introductions for tonight. All of you are wonderful, fantastic. I appreciate you immensely. And these are the players of our wonderful little game.
Thank you, Dane.
Not following that.
Yeah, I have things to say, but I'll say them at the end.
Sounds fantastic.
I'm just gonna sit here with a derpy smile on my face because it's all I got right now.
That's been a perfect time for Uther to jump in. Hey, what I miss?
So thank you so much, Coolio.
Thanks for the gift subs, Coolio.
Thank you for the gift
that was
subs.
Cool.
Thank you. That's very cool. So we are celebrating our 1-year anniversary, but we still have a game to pick up on. And because I was rambling and moping, I never actually stopped to let you all introduce yourselves. So just really quickly, introduce yourselves, your characters, say 1 or 2 things, and we will get the summary of last session and dive right in. So starting with Nifferniff.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nifferniff. I am playing Bright, the Tiefling Genasi Artificer. / sorcerer. And yeah, I'm just happy that she's made it a year, even though in game it's been 1 week.
It's ban. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I got right now.
Sounds good. Corn Dog.
That's me. I'm Corndog McGraw. I'm here. I'm here today, and I'm here tomorrow for streaming stuff. I'm also here May 2nd. I believe that's what Purple and I discussed the last time I was on stream. For one shot with some of our friends on the other side of the pond. And then I am here again a weekend after that. And I'm also here in the middle of all that. And it's just going to be fun. I'm just going to be around for a little bit. Welcome to Taurus season, everyone. This is my season. I am ready to just send you grace and blessings. I'm going to be real annoying for the next month. You've got like 4 weeks of me being the absolute worst until after my birthday, and then I'll be back to being okay and tolerable. But until then, get ready.
We shall prepare ourselves. Gregory, 1 in 20 D&D.
Yes, I have to second that Taurus action there. My birthday's coming up soon too. So, yay, Taurus. Anyway, hey, I'm Gregory. You online, I'm 1 in 20 D&D. I got a YouTube channel where I do some fun stuff there. I do some cool stuff over with the Dice Tyrants. But you know, I got to start playing some really awesome games online with this group in various different ways. I think actually within this group, I probably have known Corndog the longest, then Niff. And then I met Dane, who introduced me to Rob. And somewhere along that line, I also got introduced to Noir. And so it's just great. I'm an old fart. I don't look like it, but I am. And I've been playing this game for over 30 years. And I got to say, the coolest thing about it is that it brings people together that you don't expect would come together. And people that felt like they didn't have any friends or whatever could always come to a D&D table and find some friends. And so that's what I love about this game. I'm honored to call you all my friend and to be considered friends to you all. And this is just so much fun. Thank you for the hype train. Y'all are doing amazing stuff in the chat. It's like, there's so much going on. So happy birthday. Thank you. Over to you, Rob.
All right. Let's see. Yep. I'll just make sure I'm unmuted. I'm robotic. I'll be playing Soul. Like our wonderful DM said, I've known him 15 years now. It's a long time when you think about it. I'm so old now. Anyway, yeah, this is the only game I'll play because I spend the rest of the time being a dad. But this is basically my night out with the friends. The only thing I'm missing is a beer.
You can fix that, you know.
I know. Eventually, I will. One day, I just never remember to buy anything on the way home. I would say I definitely will not let this be the last game. Let's hold one up, imaginary one up right now for another year, playing with you guys every other Wednesday. Yeah.
We can kill Strahd and then just go do another thing. We don't have to stop.
Yeah, there's modules after this if we want to stay in module a week.
Exactly.
You ready, Tate? You just go find another one.
Yeah.
There are unannounced things behind the scenes. We'll put it that way.
Neat.
Thank you, everyone. These are the wonderful players, and I believe we have a very brief summary of last session because it was, although a packed session in many senses, well, I'll just let Niff fill you in.
What up? It's me with the Unicorn Journal. We made it back from vacation. Normally, I write the recaps during all of Dane's excellent introductions, but it was just a really good delight to just sit and listen to my friends loving on my other friends. So, hey everybody, we be fighting. We are in a flooded ghost town. We met some hags. We let them be against some of our party's better judgments. We found a cemetery. Some scarecrows were giving us sketchy looks, and some of us decided to just beat them down. So that's what we all did last time. And then Baby Lasagna showed up. Thanks, chat, for that last week or last session. Just I can't get Baby Lasagna out of my head at all. It's Baba Lysaga is the character's actual name, but no, forever it will be Baby Lasagna. And she showed up in an upside down dragon skull chariot, which I need 10 of. And yeah, Uther leapt to it and managed to almost get into it. Ficus Misty stepped in and looked awesome, and then Spartan kicked a witch out of a chariot in the sky. It was
Rode her like a
fantastic.
surfboard. It was great.
Yeah, and a lot of people fell to their doom, and it's fine. Bright got a goat for no reason. Thanks, good tables. That's gonna be really cute. I promise nothing bad will happen with that goat. And now I've said it, so it's canon.
Mhm.
Yep, that's all I got.
Well, thank you so very
It's
much.
been a good year.
It has been a very good year. Now, we will begin by pulling you right back into the cemetery.
Great.
It has been moments after Baba Lysaga disappeared into the mist after having Misty stepped out of the chains and into her back into her upside down dragon skull to fly away, leaving all of you alone, quiet. There's a splashing in the distance, the croaking of frogs, insects, and over near where Bright had dropped them, a meh, in a very diminutive, hungry sounding meh.
Its name is Gwen. I named it already.
The game is yours.
If I recall correctly, I had rushed over to go heal Uther, who had gotten broken on the ground. And I think we're all just huddling around now.
Yep, I think everyone's pretty much just huddled around, kind of recovered, and is planning what to do next.
It'd be really helpful if we had an Uther.
We need to get the leeches out of him.
Oh, right.
We should do that immediately.
Yeah, that
is
was
the first course of action.
convenient plot point. So, as Uther lays there on, I believe, a broken gravestone, if I remember right,
Yes, that's where he landed.
you see across his face, underneath his skin, this ripple of something beneath that heads up toward his temple,
Oh,
and his eyes roll back in his head, and he goes unconscious.
Oh.
Oh dear.
what have I done?
Who has a higher medicine skill than me?
What's your medicine skill?
2.
I also have it too.
I have a 1.
Leaf, are you better at medicine?
Please be better at medicine.
Are you good at first aid?
Please.
Well, I mean, I have this. He reaches into his bag, and he pulls out a what was it? Some kind of container, something. I'm trying to find it on my. Oh, I pull out the ewer. I don't. What's wrong? Wait, no, I don't know what's wrong with him yet. Scratch that. I don't do that.
Hey, somebody help! He just collapsed. That's what's wrong with
yeah,
him.
so Leaf will run over and I I think I have a spell slot, so I can probably do. Let me check my character sheet. I think I can cast a spell. Spells. Yes, I will run over and cast Cure Wounds.
I already did that on him.
Oh, after he passed out?
Oh, after he passed out, no. We'll
He's
see
just
if
got
that
leeches in his brain. It's probably fine.
Go
does.
ahead
Yeah,
and
Yeah,
I
so
Give
saw
him
the
more hit
leeches
points
go
if you'd
into
like.
him.
Yeah, you should give him more hit points because
Yeah.
I've got a knife.
Uh-oh.
so he
Orbit
gets
out of him.
6, 4 plus 2.
Okay,
Okay.
so he's at 6 is
And
23.
so Leaf rushes over and reaches down. He kind of like there's this swirl of like green leaves around his hands as he looks for like wounds on Uther. Does he see
There's
any?
so many. There's
Yeah,
so
that's what I
many.
was-
there's actually a lot. Yeah.
So he just starts like passing his hands over that, and there's like this trail of these like green mystical leaves and so forth as he gives him 6 hit points, which isn't much, but he's hoping
But it's
that's
better
enough to
than
get him
nothing.
back on his feet.
Not to break the mood, but I made a birthday cupcake, everybody, because it's their
Yay!
birthday. Now I'm gonna
As
eat
you
it. in
run your hands
stress.
over the various wounds, one of the breaks in his skin, you see this. Well, you know what? I'm not going to tell you what you see. Roll a perception check. We'll see if you see.
Gladly. Oh no! I am distracted. That's a 9.
So
4 plus
you're
5.
very busy trying to make sure the wounds close and the magic is taking, and you can see that the wounds are closing. You can tell that the magic went in and worked the way that it should, but he remains.
He remains unconscious?
Yes.
Oh dear.
All right, I want to go for the one that's in his head.
I would like to... Yeah, go ahead after you do.
I don't know too much about half-orc bodies. So this is going to... I'm going to do my best.
Giant? Half
They're all
giant?
glasses.
That's good because he's a Goliath.
Is he half... Oh,
Yeah,
he's a
He's
Goliath?
Half giant, yeah.
I thought he was half-orc. Oh my gosh, I've been lying to myself this entire campaign.
We've only been doing
just-
this for a year.
We've
I just
only...
get descriptions wrong. That's
Look,
all.
I've only known him for a week. I don't need the sass right now.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna do. Is it medicine check or like? So can I see where the one is that's like up
You saw
here
where
in
it
his
went.
head?
As you watch, you can see every once in a while it gets close enough to the surface that you can see where it's at. So you
So
tell me
Ficus
how
will,
you
like,
want to
push-
deal with that, and then
Ficus
we'll-
is gonna like push her hand down to like use her thumb to prevent it from like creeping up the skull again, so it
Okay.
like keeps trapped in his forehead, and then she's just going to put a very small incision in the top of his head in attempts to like wiggle her little finger in there and like pull it out.
Those
Okay.
so like to assist.
Yeah, just hold him still, I guess, or like give me
Oh, he's
some
not
light. It's kind of dark.
He's not moving.
Yeah.
We got my lantern.
Nif, you muted.
Oh, am I
You do
muted?
have your list.
Sorry,
You're
no,
not.
I was
Nif
muted.
was.
Nif was
I was
muted.
like, I have fire to help as well with like burning the leeches or providing light.
That's probably a good idea too.
Hmm
I
So-
think at the point that he sees what you're doing, then Leaf will be like, "Oh, I have this ewer that's got like, I don't know, it's got something in it that's supposed to help me like cleanse or purify things, or I don't know if it'll work, but maybe."
What if we use that on the wounds after I stick my grubby little finger in there and just pull it out? Because this is, I haven't washed my hands in days.
How many
I'm
are
being completely
inside of
honest.
him?
I just reach and grab and just pull, and I cast prestidigitation on your hands. I have to clean them. Just- no.
Haven't been this clean in a week.
Go ahead and we'll start with a medicine check from Ficus with advantage because everyone is helping.
Don't go blind. Don't go blind.
A 5.
No,
Oh,
16.
16
Oh.
with the
It rolled-
advantage.
Oh yeah, that's
And then-
advantage. Did roll twice. There we go.
You had a +2 or something, didn't you, Corn Dog?
Corn dog had
I-
a +2.
I do, but part of me is like hoping the 16 will be enough. to like get the medicine part because I don't to at least know what I'm doing, because I also have to like go in and reach it and grab this thing. I don't want to just split open his head and then not be able to get it, and I'm just like digging around.
I'll do it all in one go. Go ahead and what dagger did you use?
I used my dagger of warning because that's what I had out most recently.
All right, go ahead and roll the damage for the dagger of warning.
Oh no!
Hope she wiped that off.
No, I didn't. Beep.
So Ficus is not a surgeon,
No.
but does know how to use a dagger.
Yeah, I do. Oh my god. I'm not using sneak attack. I'm holding that
There's
in.
no sneak attack, no. So just
Good.
6. Yeah, you're not.
So all
I'm
the points
really
he
gonna get
healed,
the
he
leech
That's
just
one of the
lost.
best stabs I've had this whole game, and it's wasted on a forehead.
So
That's what you aim for.
you take your dagger, use your thumb, you stop, and you can feel something bump against your thumb. And as it starts to turn to go down the line of your wrist, you just and you pull a leech out of his skin.
What the heck is that?
I just like flick it at the ground.
I immediately
By
just like
Bright.
torch it. I just
Turns
like
and shrivels.
light my hand on fire and smash it down.
And then Ficus will look to Leaf. Leaf? Cleansing? Healing?
Okay. I'll pour a little bit of that you onto the wound. Are there any more in there? How many did he get inside of him?
I have no idea. Perception. I'll roll perception.
I forget.
go
Did
ahead.
Can
any
I
of
roll
us
an
see?
investigation check to like lift up his limbs and be looking for one of those little blobbies moving again?
We'll start with the perception from robotic.
Nope.
Sorry. Roll it twice. 11. Let's go to 11.
11.
Can't-
Roll it 3 times.
Can't you
Uh,
like get diseases out of people or something like that, Solaire?
This
not
is
a disease,
creature.
it's
I
a
don't see that
being.
it's a disease. Hey.
Yeah, I don't think it works on leeches.
I mean, it's worth a try, isn't it?
Not if that woman comes back again. We might need everything we can have.
Yeah, but if he's down from poison, let's see. That
So your perception, you look around, you don't see anything else crawling or moving on him. Bright, you were going to do something?
No, I just can't remember if Bright actually saw the leeches or if it was just Niffer being Uther and freaking out about how many leeches were inside.
One of you was close by.
I was close
Yeah.
by because we both fell out of the. He fell off of the thing, and I fell
Yeah.
out of it. The skull. So we were like
Right.
right next to
He-
each other.
He had the leeches way before that, though.
He had the leeches way before that. He had the leeches.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I don't think anyone actually witnessed how many went into him.
No, but we're
No.
just familiar with these disgusting.
I personally had
zombies
4
now.
go into me.
Right.
So
So did he.
the answer
That's
for
meta.
robotic is you don't see any other leeches crawling.
neat.
I was like, I
I
have,
don't believe you because I got 4 of them.
I
And
have
Just
fairy
start lifting
fire.
up his limbs.
Can I just like cast fairy fire internally?
Through the mouth, cast fairy fire.
I love it.
Oh, please.
He can't succeed because he's dead. So or
Could
unconscious.
the leeches just be glowing
But the leeches.
further inside?
I will allow you to cast fairy fire.
That is a creative use of the spell.
What
don't-
is
I don't-
the saving throw for your?
I need to check. I didn't want that to work.
It's gonna work like you hope it works.
I mean, I hope it works, but I also don't know that I want to unleash that option on the
Is it-
world.
Is
It's a dex save.
Right, and what's your save?
16.
Okay. All 3 fail.
Oh no.
And as you start investigating, as Ficus starts investigating Uther and lifting up limbs and, kind of cracking his shirt open to see what she can see, you see wriggling just beneath his chest this glowing purple something.
Oh, there's one.
And as you look on his arm, there's another glowing purple something, and then one working its way up his thigh.
Can it be orange instead of purple?
It can be orange instead
Okay,
of purple.
cool.
How long does your
Would
fairy
cast
fire
fire
work?
colors. A minute.
And do
Gotta
we
get to
all
work.
need to make, since
Let's
it's
go.
got a radius, do we all need to make saves?
No, because I cast it internally.
It-
Oh no.
Through the mouth.
Everybody would need to make the saving throw.
I'm
It's
sorry,
a dex
everyone.
save versus 16, and it's
Sorry,
everybody,
I need the light.
including you, Nif,
Including Bright.
or including Bright.
Oh, Leaf got a 23. He's good, but he also
No.
taking his hand axe at this point, and it's like razor sharp. So he starts basically doing the
Critical
same
failure.
thing. He's just gonna cut one of them out.
So, Soul starts to glow orange.
I also start to glow orange.
Bright begins to glow orange.
Even more so than I did.
Right now, Uther cannot pass, so he also glows orange, but the ones in his skin are bright enough you can see them through.
Whew.
So Leaf would like to immediately take his hand axe and try to cut one out.
Go ahead and make a medicine check.
Awesome.
Ficus will do the same on another limb too
I
once
would-
Leaf is done.
I, with the lowest medicine, will just like cradle Uther's head to try and keep him still.
I guess I'll try for the
I
last
mean, that's a
gonna
natural
need-
20 for 22.
Perfect. So that is
one. 20.
and a 20 from Soul. So Soul, having nothing but his hammer, looks down at the one crawling up Uther's thigh. Goes, slams against it,
Oh, no, it's more of a punch.
and it
It's like a reflex hammer. Like,
it stops moving in there. Leaf, you are able to to cut away one of them, the one in his arm, with your hand axe, and are very, very careful. You're able to do so without harming Uther at all. Ficus, what'd you get on your medicine check?
Precision work.
Are these with advantage?
I am
No,
helping.
because everyone's doing their own.
Fairy fire though gives advantage on attacks.
It's not an attack. It doesn't
No,
give
it's
it
not.
skill checks. Fairy fire let you see them in an easy way.
Okay.
All right, I rolled a 2
Do you have,
for 4,
Oh.
For a total of
do you
which
have
can make it up
inspiration?
to a 6. I have inspiration listed on my sheet, but I don't know if it's real anymore.
I
don't
think
know
it
either.
is because we've gotten a lot.
We
of
haven't
character
used inspiration like 10
I don't-
games.
We
I
are
don't
so
remember you
afraid of
using it.
using our character
Then I'm
inspirations.
gonna use it because I would feel bad.
Save
Go ahead.
Uther.
This is gonna
I'm-
be a natural 1. I can feel it.
No.
No, don't say that.
All right, that's an 11 with my +2.
11 with your plus 2. So you're going to burn your plus 2. I'll take it
Yep.
off the list.
I will cross it off my thingy.
Go ahead and roll damage for your dagger. So while Soul somehow crushes a leech internally, and
Yeah, why is no one else
Leaf
rolling damage?
very carefully, because they both rolled over 20 or more. And as Leaf very carefully cuts one out,
Can Solaire just like grab it and like just pinch it?
that's fine with
Just
me.
like
It just hits and
squeeze-
just pulls out through the
squeeze
skin
it
and all.
inside of him.
Oh,
There you go.
we are still gonna have to remove that
Yeah.
And
because I
then-
don't want that in there.
I'm just gonna point to it. You take care of that.
You took care of it. You
Yep.
took care of it satisfactorily.
This is
it's
fine.
You are
Lot of
confident.
leeches and
You are
stuff.
confident that it is no longer a threat to Uther.
Awesome.
And then 5 more damage is dealt to Uther as Ficus mini panics and starts jabbing a dagger into his chest, trying to chase after this.
Which is
then you get
another
it on the
failed
third one.
save.
His chest is a lot bigger than his head. I'm a small person.
Ellen.
Immediately, Leaf is going to use another Cure Light Wounds.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I'll do this one at 2nd level.
Sounds good. With
All
that,
my
you're all
resources.
quite confident that Uther's internal leech problem has been solved.
Has he regained conscious?
Oh
He's-
god, that was terrible! I used a second level spell to get the exact same amount of hit points.
No, I still have lay on hands, right?
You could
Yeah.
have said that sooner.
Everyone's such a rush to the.
I mean,
I was gonna wait
I'm
for
also
him
hurt.
stabbing him.
You could say
It's
that I
true.
am currently bloodied.
Okay. I used 20 on Ficus.
Leaf was acting instinctually at that too.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. You
Um,
feel the healing pour into him. The wounds that Ficus has made begin to close.
And I'll
Do I-
use my last 15 on Uther.
And
Wake
last
up.
15. As you lay hands on him, he his eyes slowly open, looks at all of you, and just says, "What did you do to me?"
I would like to end concentration on fairy fire immediately.
He winks out just as he's looking down at his hands. You let her get away.
You were dropped onto a gravestone. You could have died.
I didn't want to carry you.
Also, she was too much for us.
we didn't have a way to follow her as well. I can track her, but not very well because she's flying in the air, so there's really no trail to follow, but I don't know. We could try.
Who was watching them? Which way did she go?
Leaf
We
just
need to
points
rest.
We all
roughly
point
in a direction. Yeah.
Yeah, all of us in opposite directions. Which one of us is telling the truth, Uther? Haha.
He sighs and walks over and sits down next to the fence.
Oh, at least he's walking. All right, then. Let's see. Well, she'll probably make herself known soon enough.
She will, and that is what I am afraid of. We have other things to do besides think about her. We
We
came
need
here
to-
to find someone, if you will recall.
Yeah, and I'd rather go find them than wait for her. Do we have any idea which way is which? Do we have any sense of direction at all from where we
Not
are?
a one.
So within the graveyard, the fog is thin enough that you can see. It basically just hangs around the ground. But just outside of the broken down fence of the graveyard, it thickens into this can't see, hand in front of your face density that you experience to make it this far. You're quite confident that if you wander out into the fog again, just like before, you will have to be doing some creative uses of skills in order to make your way. But as you're discussing options, there is this peal of thunder that cracks through the sky. The clouds begin to change shape above you. And in the darkness, far above, you see a massive image of Strahd's face. And he says, 9 more days.
Ash.
And with another crack of thunder, the clouds disperse. Go back to the dreary, overcast darkness of midnight in Barovia.
Wait, we've been here a whole day?
No, he's counting from when we left dinner. This was the first day, so we're in like the middle of the night.
Oh,
He's cheating.
yeah. I'm like, that was like 6 hours.
3 hours of the first day.
All right.
Dawn of the
What
final
a
day, 24
dick.
hours remain.
Well, I would say any direction is as good as any other one.
What? Weren't there some like ruins or something? Maybe we could find some shelter.
Back the way we came, or was it to?
Well,
Wasn't-
let's-
Ruins of
There
a
was
mansion.
like shabbled houses, wasn't there? Because this is like a decimated town,
Yeah.
so we could at least
This-
find like an abandoned house, maybe.
And
Yeah.
abandoned houses mean that perhaps another person would be there, and we are looking for another person. So,
Yeah. What else do we need to find here? One of the Fanes, if we're lucky, right?
that's the person, yes.
Yeah. So we
And
have the
A
book,
shrine.
and we have, and he looks over at Solaire. Holy symbol. But we still need more of these. What are they? The gems?
Nefeshes.
The Navesh? Yeah.
The spirit of the Fanes that need to be reunited with their current bodies. we have-
Interesting.
We have one, and I kind of dig around and pull out. We have the Huntress Nefesh.
As soon
that
as
I've
you
been
touch the
hearing.
stone,
Ah.
you hear in the back of your mind the howling of wolves in the distance.
Oh, okay.
And if I send Eclipse up the scout, he can't see anything, right?
That's what happened before, yes.
There's also a chance that he could be eaten by that crazy lady in the skull.
Not my bird.
The Fane that is supposed to be here is the Weaver, though, not the Huntress. So this is the wrong one.
I mean,
She
the
just-
Weaver would still have ties to the other ones because that was their whole thing, is that
Yes.
they watched over the other ones and watched over
Huntress.
everyone's stories. So if
So
we
she
can get
would
to
know
her, she would have more
information.
strings to pull, as it were.
What I remember is that the Huntress may be in the Berez, and we're in Berez.
Yes.
We all agree on what we need to do.
Well, no, the Weaver can be found in Berez. No? It's on the conspiracy map, okay?
I thought I saw you adjust it last time.
Here's the notes
Nope.
from what I wrote down
Cool.
when we first found out.
This is fine. Muriel's supposed to be the Huntress, not the Weaver. Okay. I'm fixing the conspiracy map.
I know what you're doing. Okay. So
What?
there's also a shrine here.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a
we're
shrine.
trying to find Muriel here.
There's a shrine in Brez and the windmill and Yesterhill. We know that the shrine at the windmill is for the Huntress. We don't know the other two.
Okay.
And so
Well,
the
Should we
Fane
check the
here
shrine?
would be
Maybe
the
there'll be some
Huntress.
clues.
We don't know where the shrine is. We don't know where anything is.
Like I said, we just pick a direction and go.
I
Done.
think we should
Wait.
get to an abandoned house. We should rest. We have been up since 8 a.m. and it is now midnight. I am tired.
That's just
I'm getting a
college
little
life.
cranky. We need to rest. Uther needs to heal. I need to heal.
We all
And we all need to be about
rest.
our resources.
All right.
I think I can find us back to the city. Or the ruins, or whatever they are.
I can also help a little bit if it's looking at tracks and footprints.
The whole town is flooded. There aren't that many footprints.
I mean, there's ours from us walking around, stomping through the mud.
Yes.
I'm gonna
Alright.
do my
and none of us
best.
know,
go.
but Uther's been burning a holy symbol book to lead the trail.
So, I know we're in Barovia, but I do have the Wanderer feature, which gives
So
me
do I.
Oh, well, there you go. So we
'Cause we're
both
the
have
same.
an excellent memory of geography.
Hmm?
Would that help us finding our way back?
Because I don't like nerfing class features, yes, you can find your way back through the fog any way that you would please, but that's not going to help you with moving forward to a new destination in the fog.
Sure. Well, I think we're going back to where we saw the ruins, didn't we?
The plan
Or
was
the
to go
town
back
or
to-
whatever it was, I guess. Yeah, the like...
Did
the
we
big
actually
thing.
pass through the town? Yeah. Because we would like
I think
to
we
go
saw it off to the side, kind of.
You
Yeah.
basically
Toby
the-
let us past it because in town could have been
Toby.
dangerous.
He guided you through the swamp to the the ruins of the town itself. When you started wandering around the town, you found a mansion where the witches were there and had the conversation with you. You left the witches and you found the cemetery, and then that's as far as that's as deep as you've made it in Berez so far.
We could go back to the mansion with the creepy witches, or we could go past that and hope to find a house.
Maybe they'll provide directions.
Yes, they were kind enough before. Let's go.
All
Leaf
right.
starts walking.
Come on, Uther. I hold his hand. Because he's not saying anything else.
He will punch you.
It's gonna
Like,
swat your
I-
hand away so hard, it's just gonna lead a loud metal clang in the air.
I feel comfortable enough in playing Uther for him. He would smack you.
You make your way back through the fog
He crit on smacking you.
with Ficus and Leaf leading the way. Despite the difficulty of navigating in the dense fog, you both have sharp enough eyes and enough of a feel that even the varying sponginess of the earth is enough to help give you a sense of where you've been and where you haven't been. And it doesn't take long before you make your way back to the ruins of the mansion. Inside, the cauldron is being stirred by a trio of witches, and the smoke coming out of it has shifted into this sickly green wafting steam. And the three are continuing the chant where they left off.
Does it smell terrible or does it smell too good?
It's that sickly sweet smell of rot where you know it's a bad smell, but there's something sweet on the edge of it.
Great. I would love to
A little bit of
not
nutmeg.
speak to them again if possible. We can just give them a hey, and just skirt around. Yeah. Just gonna try and find shelter away from them.
Are they in the mansion or outside of it?
They are essentially in the foyer of the mansion.
Okay.
Well, I don't think we would go back in there.
No.
I think the idea was just to get back towards where all those buildings are.
Yeah,
So you
then
can
find
make it
a
back
different
to you
building.
can make it back to the mansion itself and the other ruins of the houses nearby. If you glance in on the way by, you can see them stirring.
Yeah.
As you get close to the mansion, just like the cemetery, the fog thins enough to see, and then thickens as you move away. But it's not long before you stumble into the ruins of a house. It's a half-sunken, half-collapsed cottage. The door has long rotten and just hangs on a hinge. As you push it, it collapses and falls into the water. Sploosh! And you can hear the echoes through the fog. Looking in, it's sunken. Part of the floor has tilted, so there's about mid-shin water on one half. The other half is up in the air a little bit. You see broken remains of furniture and other items. And curled up in the corner is a skeleton.
Love it.
This is decidedly unpleasant.
Don't suppose there's another
Should we
house
look
we
for
could
a
try?
better one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we look for another or?
Uther would probably
I'm
just
pretty
go
sure
and
they're
pick up the
all-
skeleton and just yeet it and be like, there, I fixed it.
No, don't yeet the skeleton.
Its
probably
bones
taller
clatter
than
to the
you.
floor after he's picked up one piece because they're no longer connected by any form of tendons.
Oh my lord!
Okay,
Yeah, she
he
picked it
would-
up like one whole piece.
He shifts part of it, and the rest of it just slides down the floor into the water.
This is not a stable. This won't do at all. We need either we're gonna sleep outside or we gotta find something else because we'll
just
all just roll
desperate.
down into the water.
All
All
right,
right, let's look for another one.
Try house number 2.
You wander down the street.
Next
and
episode of House Hunters,
the
Barovia.
the next couple are completely collapsed. Nothing but a pile of stones, and the roof is long, rotten shingles in a pile. You make your way down the street, and time after time, that's the story of these houses. They are destroyed, they are decimated. The few that are still in one piece, when you stick your head in, they're broken or have human remains in them.
All right, so
What you pick, it's going to be an uncomfortable evening.
so Leaf's gonna change tactics, and he's gonna look for an intact chimney.
Okay.
Honestly, we might be better off just staying in the cemetery.
Or the mansion.
That's with the
because-
hags or witches or whatever they
I
are.
mean, Soul doesn't sleep, so that's helpful.
Yeah, and you probably made these
Yes.
old houses extra haunted. Now you desecrate a corpse, so
Yeah, I don't want to go
I
back to
was
the house where we threw
fixing
the body.
a problem.
you made it worse.
Well, I was
fair.
figuring if we found a fireplace, at least we could make a fire and stay warm and have some
I don't
light.
think we're gonna find that in Barovia.
If we also make a fire, smoke goes up, and it'll be a lot easier for that hag to find us again.
Oh no, he's rolling dice.
I mean, that's a chance
We've
I'm
come
willing
across
to
a
take.
zombie again. I can feel it.
Damn it.
As you are discussing and wandering the streets of Berez trying to find satisfactory housing, up from the waters next to Leaf, a bloated creature rises and
Told you.
slashes at him. A 22, does that hit?
Yes.
My dagger didn't go off? I'm
That-
mad.
Your dagger went off as soon as it rose. It's as though
Okay.
it wasn't. It was as though it was there and not there at the same time.
It's like creepy things can spawn in whenever the DM feels like.
7 damage from that slash, and the other one's a 15. I don't think a 15 hits
15 will, I think, miss. Yeah, 15 misses.
you. Okay.
Do I need to
Listen.
any saving throw or anything?
Nope. You just take the
Okay.
damage.
Ah!
What's everybody gonna do?
Ah! And I'm,
Stab
I'm-
it.
Can Soul tackle the zombie?
I'd like my dog to bite it.
Yeah,
Yes, Soul could tackle the zombie. Make an athletics check.
Leaf
Alright.
would instinctively slash out with his short sword.
I hope
Okay.
you don't hit. Athletics.
Yep.
Bright is still at full
Ooh.
health. Maybe she should be taking
18.
these things.
18. You tackle a zombie and knock it away from Leaf, and you land in
Thank
the
you.
water with a splash.
All right.
Leaf, what are you gonna do?
Well, since now it's down on the ground, I'll go after it with my short sword and hand axe.
Go ahead.
No, that's not the point. Shooter.
Yeah, fair,
ahead.
fair. Yeah, that's right. It was one of the bloated ones. So, change of tactics. I'll pull Corpse Slayer out and shoot at it.
Go ahead. Disadvantage because it is on the ground,
Fair enough.
but it is just a bloated zombie.
Yeah, that's a 16 with disadvantage. 5
16
plus
will hit.
11.
Go ahead and roll damage.
That plus 11. I tell you what.
Yeah, unbelievable.
My highest one is plus 7.
My highest one is plus 5.
Yep, I
We
designed
messed
it
up.
that way.
Done messed
That's 10 damage.
Also, you
10
For the
damage
first
is
hit.
enough. It pops like a balloon underneath Soul. Soul, you are covered in 6 little squirming leeches that desperately try and find a way into the wood and metal of your body, only to fall away.
Ugh.
Swim.
I really hate that that's the most efficient way to deal with these things.
I would like to go to the mansion. If it's good enough for the witches, it's good enough for us. I am tired of this place.
We'll be
And-
fighting these for the night.
What?
I said if we stay out here, we'll be fighting these for the
Oh
rest
yeah.
of the night.
I don't want it anymore. I will deal with ghosts. I don't want zombies with leeches anymore.
Yes.
I agree.
Very well.
Try to speak with bunches of witches.
You all make your way back to the mansion, following again the tracking skills of Ficus and Leaf, making your way back to where you have been. You walk up toward the foyer, and as it's been a good 15 minutes past midnight at this point. And when you get to the top of the stairs, there is a cauldron sitting on a fire and nothing else.
It makes sense. Witching hour is done, so guess let's just not go near those things.
Are they here somewhere? He's like looking around for them.
Perception.
Sure. I mean, why not? Ugh. What's up with my perception rolls? That's the second time for a 9.
You look around, you don't see any sign of them.
I trust that they will leave us alone if we leave them alone. And I kind of say it a little louder in case they're listening. We have no quarrel with them.
All right, but let's all stay in one room, shall we?
I think that's for the best.
Can we find a nearby room with only one entrance? Well, actually 2.
You look around, and the mansion is in ruins, but it's not underwater like so many of the other places. So you look, and you can find a room that it's dank and dark and moist, but mostly intact. That
Is this the mansion?
has an entrance or two. It might have been a dining room at one point, because at best you can piece together the one door leads to the foyer in the main hall, and another door goes to a broken out wall of what may have been a kitchen at one
Yeah.
point.
Listen, with Uther, any room can have a second entrance. Just give him a little bit of time. So we'll be fine.
So let's just make camp here.
Yeah. Noir is not here right now, but I do have a conversation that I've been meaning to have with him for like 3 episodes, so I'm just gonna plop that in. We
Sure.
will retcon that happening when he gets back.
Just do both sides.
Okay, here goes. No.
So, yeah, when Noir gets in, we'll pause and we will go back. So what you see right now is Bright goes over and sits next to Uther, who is slumped against a wall.
I
on one side.
imagine that she was the one aiding him in walking after he smacked Soul away.
Sounds good.
So
That's fine. I guess Soul's just going to help milk camp and then sit down for watch, preferably where he gets an eye on any entrances to the room.
Sounds good. Leaf, Ficus, anything special for the evening?
Ficus will prepare dinner for everyone. Second dinner, late midnight dinner,
snacks.
snacks. Ficus will set out some snacks, and then just kind of go plop down by Leaf, or not Leaf, Soul. Sorry.
Before... Oh, Solaire got a +2 from Kohlrabi.
Nice.
So, I would say while we're all sort of together, yeah, actually, Leaf wants to say something for sure. He's gonna, he looks over to, he looks over, actually, to Bright, and, he just say, Bright, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
How long has it... let's see. You grew up here, right?
Yes.
How long ago was it that you left?
It's been a year. I don't think we have ever established that. I want to say it's been a couple of weeks for Bright, right, GM? Because we'd established it'd been a while, but not long enough that she was due to be back yet.
It was at least long enough that there were a few things that you missed. So it was at least long enough for some relevant events to happen here in Barovia.
Yeah. Like one of the families traded out in my caravan and stuff. So, yeah. Over a month? Why?
Just thinking. We still hardly know each other. Was that the first time you had left Barovia?
No, the Vistani may come and go as they please. You saw on our first meeting, so that whenever we leave, we are followed by creatures of the undead variety. And
Right, those
it
zombies that
means-
came from nowhere.
it means that we do not often stay in one place.
I can understand that. That's sort of how I was raised. In fact, although we stayed in the same forest, we moved quite frequently. So you were used to like coming and going then. But were you supposed to stay away this time?
Yes. It is a coming of age experience for every Vistani to realize what it means. We are given the opportunity to wander the lands on our own and decide if we still want to be part of the family and the legacies that we hold. So we die, we become dead to our families for a short time, and if we choose to, we stay that way, or we are welcomed back to the family with open arms.
Is that what you want?
Yes.
Have you seen many places besides where we met?
DM.
Up to you.
Some. We did not stay anywhere for long, so we never really grew familiar with the places we visited, but there were some that we went to often. I was found out there. I'm not from Barovia.
Oh, you're... Wait, so this isn't your home?
It is now. I am a Vistani. I am. But I was found by them, and they chose me to be one.
Oh, that's basically what happened to me.
Yeah. You kind of told us that at the beginning of the week, and I don't think I ever told you, but it is very close to what happened to me. I was found as a baby, and they gave me to my parents, and they have kept me as their own. It's why I'm not the same. And she just like pulls up her hair that she has braided into horns to be shaped like her tiefling family, because she's not actually at all tiefling.
Yeah, did your hair always glow, and has it always been on fire?
Mm-hmm.
That's remarkable. Yeah, I imagine that you probably dealt with some of the same things where, being in the forest most of the time was kind of nice because, the elves, they didn't really seem to bother or mind that I'm not like them. But anytime we went into areas where there were, different folks, well, people would stare. It's awkward.
That's just being a Vistana.
Yeah,
In
all your
Barovia, as a
people.
Barovian, stare, and that's everyone else does. That's why we don't really spend a lot of time as anyone, except ourselves.
And yet, knowing what this place is like, and he's like looking around, he's like, the darkness that's covering the land. For now, it will go away someday. The light will shine here again. But knowing that it was dark and heavy and all of this, you still wanted to come back.
They picked me. Why wouldn't I pick them?
Huh.
I got left on the side of the road out there. They didn't even bring me to a house or anything. So, my family picked me. So I'm staying with them. Until I have to go.
I know that you don't care for violence and fighting and prefer to invent things and create things, which is absolutely amazing to me. It's so different than everything I've experienced. My life has been all about the natural and things that can be cultivated and nurtured from the ground and from within nature. And you make things that are in their own way alive, which is, well, it's hard for me to understand, but I truly admire it. And
Thanks, I guess.
I think you're a lot braver than you let on. Brave enough to come back here. Brave enough to stand up to Strahd. Yeah.
That's kind of you. You're wrong, but it's kind.
We'll see. The strongest
else?
trees in the forest brave the strongest winds. And this land is due for a very strong wind.
The food that Ficus prepares is as fantastic as you would expect. Amazing given simple resources, but and also amazing because most of it came out of a boot. The evening is fairly quiet. And if there's nothing else, we can take a little bit of a break and come back to see what happens the next day.
Ficus throughout the
Go ahead.
night is going to be talking with Soul as the night just goes on about random bullshit, asking Soul about gods and stuff like that. But we can wait until after the break because we
can
are
do that
at.
now. I was
Okay.
gonna break if it was a natural break and everyone went to sleep. But no, go ahead.
Can
Yeah,
you
and
take
that
up Uther's line of questioning of like, how do you eat? How you do whatever from like a week ago?
Right.
Game.
And
From
just
like
so
even 5 days ago.
5 days ago.
hit the wrong button.
Psych.
We
Sorry.
just go to break.
We're not on break yet. That was an
We're back.
accident. That was an accident.
Quick, fastest
Hit
break.
the wrong button.
So, well, Ficus, you go ahead and have your conversation with Soul now, and we'll break after that.
Yeah.
I
then
was
I
gonna
think-
say, to be clear, that Leaf was just, he wasn't trying to make that like a private conversation or anything at all. That was just
Yeah.
as
Sure.
anyone that was listening would have heard any of that.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're all in a dining room together, so
Yeah,
we were all
there's-
listening.
Exactly.
There's
yeah.
no private conversations. Our shared backstory.
There
Yeah.
we go.
Not my shared backstory. Ours.
Yeah, Ficus would kind of wait though until everyone started dozing off and she could hear people falling asleep and she's just sitting there realizing like she's physically tired, but she doesn't feel the need to be asleep right now. And she just kind of looks at Soul and she's like, Soul, where
do babies come from?
have you ever felt like Lathander inside of you?
When you consider that we've literally seen beings as divine, yes, I feel him even now, in spite of everything. It's what keeps me going.
Okay, so I think I had a god in my stomach for a few days, and he was like the only god that I like really knew, because I didn't really pay attention to the other halfling gods, to be honest. In the woods, it's just a little crazy. I guess like everyone had their different gods for their different jobs, and I just didn't really have a job. I kind of just wandered around. So I really enjoyed the company of one god, but then he went inside my stomach. And then when he left my stomach, I think he left for good.
Was this the same God that almost killed you?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I think he's not here anymore. And it feels kind of weird to feel like you know someone and she just like pats her stomach. And then they're not there anymore. Do you think Lathander would ever leave you?
I would hope not, but I believe if he did, in my case, it's probably because I broke my own vows. But got roll a religion. Let's just say I know generally some other gods. What's the alignment? Do I know the alignment of her god?
It's up
The
to you how much you know about the
halfling
halfling.
pantheon is kind of crazy. So
Not an equal.
there,
I will
Unless-
say simply that,
There wouldn't be any reason for Soul to know that.
okay, I'm just going to assume then. I'm going to say, not every god's divine, and not every god. Say, a better word. Not every god out there is looking out for the best of us. I mean, for best. What is the best for us? And some of them are as fickle as the very wind that blows through this land. Even though he may not be here now, he may return. I'm not familiar with the prayers, but you can always try those.
yeah, I don't know if I want him to return because I mean, he did also give me a power that he knew I probably wasn't smart enough to use, and tried to kill me, in my opinion. But I mean, his siblings did like me, so that was cool. I think I have like 3 other gods,
Well,
but I
ask you
can't
this.
feel them in my stomach.
What power did he give you?
He gave me the power that when bad things were happening to my friends, I could make them happen to me instead. But days later,
Oh,
I had like 3 days of trying to help everybody.
Oh, is that why you nearly died the other day? Leaf says sleepily from just
All of us just in on these conversations.
well, I guess this is news to us.
It was kind of what I warned you about, Leaf, before I went to bed that night, and a little bit to you, Soul. I think it was just Leaf. I think I just cuddled in next to Soul and was like, fingers crossed, stay next to the paladin. Sorry, that was Courtney above table. I think I just told you, Leaf. But yeah, so halflings have like a bunch of different gods because we all do a bunch of different things, and it doesn't make sense to ask everything of one being. It feels like that's a lot for a person. Like, I can't do everything. And I don't think we should expect a god to be able to do everything. So we have a bunch of them, and I talked with them over dinner, kind of, or at least over food. There was a lot of food. It was really nice. But I saw the one that gives me the heebie-jeebies. He didn't like me. 2 of them liked me and were like, woohoo, Ficus! So that was cool. And then one of them was kind of like, yeah. But then they decided they liked me. I don't know. I was just eating a lot and kind of anxious because it was also the first time I can remember being around a lot of light in a minute. It's been very dark and gloomy here. I didn't know what I was doing.
Well, about your power, I'll simply say I hope you never pick up anything like that again, in spite of the fact you may have saved 1 or 2 of our lives at some point. But if you ever want to feel the light again, you're welcome to pray with me and Lathander. He's very accepting of halflings as well.
Okay. Ficus will just kind of sit cross-legged in front of Solaire and just be like, how do we pray?
Oh, that's easy. So Ficus Soul's just gonna run down a couple of
Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray Lathander my soul to keep.
There you go. It's more of a day person, really, but yeah. Yeah, I'll just
not one god for everything.
I don't have any prayers prepared today. It's been months. I'm sorry.
That's why I offered the now I lay me down to sleep.
Let's just say I got his guide somewhere in my pocket. I keep a book around. Just sure, a couple stories, a couple things. The ones that Soul recites when he wants to comfort himself at night.
The toddler's first prayer book, because you're about the right age.
Yeah, I got pictures.
Ooh, great.
Not everybody can read.
It's true.
So,
as somebody who plays mostly illiterate characters, thank you for that. That's very kind.
yeah. So, yeah, I will say with that, I'll just teach you a couple of simple ones if you ever feel uncomforted. If you can always come to me. I hope you remember them as we'll get it until you remember it.
Ficus will write some down in her own notebook that's inside her boot. But instead of putting, oh my gosh! But instead of putting Sander in there, welcome.
I just wanted to mess up your overlay.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Fixed it.
It only took me a second.
I'm just messing.
So excitement.
We're in the middle of praying.
We're praying together. But Ficus will, as she's writing down the prayers, she's going to switch out the name Lathander for the names of the gods that she knows.
Hey,
so she's just got... she's got so many. She's got, all of Yondila's children in there, but she's not including Brandibarus anymore, or
we don't like
Demon Boy, or not Demon Boy, Death Boy. She's not including him either. They are off her list.
Not welcome.
But
can't sit with us.
Can't sit with us.
You can't pray with us.
Can't. You're not getting my prayers. And Ficus will just kind of sit there and start trying to memorize them, but also look around and help Soul keep watch throughout the night. because Ficus no longer has a need for sleep.
What?
What?
Yeah.
I'll leave y'all alone for 2 sessions and now y'all need to sleep.
Listen,
Hey,
Again,
you're the one who
don't-
went through emergency surgery.
again, don't watch the first half of the show. You don't.
What?
It's
What?
fine.
It's fine. You don't have any new scars, especially not one across your forehead.
I didn't cast spells internally.
To bring Noir back up to speed. So
Nope. Let's do
Noir,
that at
you
break.
you're currently in the ruined mansion that you found that had the 3 witches in it prior to making the way to the cemetery. After the fight, the decision was made to go find a place to hole up for a bit, as a giant image of Strahd in the sky warned everyone there was 9 days left. And well, there was some minor surgery performed on Uther that did successfully remove all 4 of the leeches that have been crawling through your system. So that note of your leeches, you can mark that off.
In my defense, I said something as a joke, and HP took me seriously, and you're leech free
I mean,
now.
when Noir looks at the camera like this, like, what have you done? Full lean in, like, I feel like HP has to explain us.
I asked if I could cast Fairy Fire internally to locate the leeches. Okay.
Yep. So we used some creative use of fairy fire, and you had glow worms that were crawling through your skin, and they hunted them down with a hand axe, a dagger, and the one going up your thigh, Soul got with his hammer. So
Will any of
Sorry,
you
no,
have
no.
proficiency in medicine?
Yes.
You have proficiency and you let us dumbasses go for it?
I heal by hitting.
I didn't. I was just saying that.
see,
I was like, what the fuck, Leaf? What were you making us do?
the highest modifier was 2 in the
Yeah.
group, but you did survive surgery. So
This DIY surgery. Shit. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm back in. I'm here for it.
and everyone made their way back to that mansion. You've holed up in a ruined, broken down, musty old dining room, sitting against a wall while everyone has been kind of sharing their thoughts before bedtime. And Bright was going to make a...
I think you're at
Do we wanna-
21 hit points.
No, you're at 18, actually. Sorry.
Who, me?
I
Yeah,
cut
you-
you up a little bit.
Oh,
Sorry.
thank you.
No, that
We
was
did.
we did 21 after he was brought back to consciousness.
Yep, he was brought back up. So
I did 6 and Solaire did 15.
Also, I'm at 21 then.
Cool.
I appreciate y'all.
Mhm.
And we're gonna take a long rest.
Okay.
That's what
You
we're all
cast-
holed up for.
You cast fairy fire inside me.
It
Yeah.
worked.
It worked.
I look.
I never thought I'd say that before.
I also didn't. I kind of mostly said it as a joke, and then HP said, "Okay, so you do that." And I'm like, "Wait, what?"
really good idea.
Rule of cool,
So-
man. Rule of cool.
So we glowed all of the leeches inside you so that we could find them.
Just so crazy it might work.
Look, I put it down to my aberrant mind, okay? Bray got brain broken, so she's doing things a little weird now. Would we like to take our mid-break before we have the Noir and Bright, or do we want to? It's up to you.
It would make sense to do it before, but we don't have to, because then that would be a natural break as everyone takes the long rest.
Okay, so Noir.
But if you want a couple minutes, we can take it.
I could jump right into it.
All right, cool. This is fine. I just need to just get out of fairy fire surgery a second, and go back to seriousness. Oh shoot! What happened to the goat?
The goat was left in the cemetery.
You
Okay,
made
fine.
such a fuss before stream
I
about
did.
remembering that code, and
I did. I'm so mad.
I even bleeded so that you would go over and pick it up.
We did forget the guy.
I didn't know that was. I needed to go pick it up. I thought that was like it hasn't died yet.
I even bleeded a second time saying it sounds so hungry and it's so weak.
I let it loose to go eat. It was supposed to go eat.
Sure.
Okay, whatever. Anyways.
I love Rob's reaction to all of this because Rob is fucking
Ew.
dying. We were so adamant about that goat like 2 hours ago.
Because she was like hamstrung half that battle with the hag because she was trying to watch the goat. And
Little bit.
the goat.
A little bit.
Rip goat.
Look, maybe I'll go find it in the morning, okay?
FC chat for goat.
FC chat for Gwen the goat. I'm writing it on the page again. Get goat before goat gets got. Anyways, so Uther, you've kind of been dropped on a lot of things and cut into a lot and stuff, and so Soul tried to help you ish to a place, and I made a character choice. You probably would have smacked him, and I crit for you. But then Bright kind of took the place of helping you to get settled in the mansion and stuff. So she's just around. And there's going to be an awkward amount of just us two sitting by each other. And then just very, very quietly trying not to be heard by the rest of the group, but they probably hear because we're all in the same room. What did you mean earlier about you still have light left?
We're doing this now.
Do you really think that there will be time any other time? Fine, we don't have to.
Why are you making the decisions that you're making? Do you have a clue, or are you just going by impulse?
That's what you do.
Is it?
You just do everything immediately. It's you don't.
I do what I know I can survive. And if I'm wrong about that, then so be it. I'm ready to embrace oblivion. Are you?
Why don't you think I am? Why do you think I'm so much less than you?
There is no less or more. We're all equal at the end of it.
Then why do you care?
Because this isn't who you are. This is who you're trying to become.
And why does that matter? Why are you so concerned about the light in me if you don't think there's any left in you?
Because your light was interesting and good. If you snuff out your light, all that's left are people like Soul who worship Lathander and grovel to some higher up for whatever they can get. Your light was your ingenuity, your cleverness, tempered with kindness. True, authentic of you, for no other reason than it was your nature. You didn't wait for any reward from a man in the sky.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume you don't know much about artificing, yes?
I know about as much about artificing as you know about cleaving a man's skull in half with a great axe.
So in artificing and in putting things together, the pieces have to get along. You can't just put a certain type of metal next to another and expect them to both cooperate well. I don't think that you are as different as you are trying to be. Because I don't think that you would care so much about this fire in me if there was not also fire in you. So anything that you are saying to me, I think you also need to hear. And if you don't, then you are a fool.
Do you think this is the first time someone has called me a fool?
I think it is the first time that it matters.
Toby enjoyed your light.
Toby enjoyed yours.
There can't be a world for Toby that is suitable for him to live if I don't forego that light and make this world suitable for him.
You really think making a new world is only suitable by destroying yourself?
How many countless decades have gone by with people attempting to destroy Strahd, and each one failing because they are unwilling to do what needs to be done?
What, die? Did you not see all of the people we passed in his house? Plenty of people were willing to die. Probably in stupider ways than we are about to.
It's not just being willing to die. Let me ask you, are you willing and ready to carry his burden? Would you become Strahd if given the chance?
You think replacing him is the only way to fix it?
I believe that if I replaced that darkness with my own, then I could choose to have Tobias spared of it.
Why would replacing one thing with just another version of that thing net any different results?
Because
you're better than that?
if we can't kill him, he's already told us that he's willing to leave. We just need to ensure that he gets what he wants.
She is not willing.
And I do not care. And that hesitation, that look right there is why I know that I am willing to do what needs to be done, and you are not. I have no disillusionment about what it would mean to give him his bride. I have no qualms in putting an end to all of you if it's necessary, because I know that none of you have the heart to let that happen. I will go along with you. I will attempt to defeat Strahd. But if the moment comes where I am certain that our victory will never be. I will give him what he wants, and I will hand him each and every one of your heads on a silver platter if you get in my way.
And what happens to us if we don't?
If you don't what? Get in my way? Then you get to live in Barovia as it always has been, except you will whisper the name Uther instead of Strahd.
Now where's the better deal for me and that? Isn't change supposed to be better for people?
Well, I don't know how Strahd feels about your light. But I know how I feel about your light. Barovia would be better for you. Someone needs to watch Tobias.
And Sebastian and Joey.
Sure.
Bright just pulls out the tarot cards that she's been working on making and just gets to work.
Uther just lies his head back down and closes his eyes.
Okay.
Hi everybody, I missed you.
Bye! Okay.
Nice to know that one of my party members may murder me if he sees that as a way out.
Yeah, I'm sure that Ficus and Soul were just sitting there like staring at each other like, what the fuck is going on?
I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm just disappointed, really.
I mean, he's always been honest about it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Jane, I can't
Happy
hear
Spain
anything you're
birthday.
saying.
This is going so well.
Did it switch my microphones?
Hey,
Yeah,
you're a person
apparently.
again.
It
You're back.
switched my microphones. Okay.
Oh,
Well,
a shame.
I'll fix that during intermission. So,
Anyways,
Gregory, if you could send us to intermission, we'll take
I
a couple
would
of
be
minutes,
delighted
and I'll
to.
figure out why my mic switched, and we'll be back in just a couple.
You betcha. Here we
Oh,
go.
God.
See you in a few.
Welcome back. As everyone settles in for the evening, a heavy conversation between Bright and Uther, a questioning of faith and its purpose between Soul and Ficus, and a heart-to-heart between Leaf and Bright. As everyone begins to settle in for the evening, Ficus getting used to the idea of not having to sleep, Soul getting used to the idea of Ficus chattering through the night instead of silence. As a couple of you start to doze off, Uther, you hear in the back of your mind this voice that you've not heard for a few days now. You would do nicely. And Bright, as you doze off, you hear in the back of your mind a foothold, a start. Interesting.
DM said it. I'm evil. It's canon. Oh no.
The
I think I'm evil.
The night passes with a number of various sounds. Ficus and Soul, you witness snakes that slither through the foyer just outside the doors. You can hear the splash and moving about out there, but generally speaking, it's fairly quiet. So I just want a single D20 roll from you, Soul.
What? What's up, Mr. Saito with 2,000
Hey.
bits?
Thank you so
Holy
much.
cow!
Gugga mugga.
Is that
That's-
to counterbalance a party member going evil? You're like, oh, help them out?
He threw off
That's-
my rope.
That's a magic item for me to sort out, isn't it?
Yeah, you know what happened the last time we got a magic item? It went in my
Alright.
belly.
I've got a magic. That was a card.
No, that was a
was a card,
that was
that's
a
right.
TPK
Yeah.
deck.
All right. I have a magic item in mind. I have its location, and it
Is it
you will
with the
you will
goat?
have the opportunity to recover it tonight, and yeah, you one way or the other, you will get it tonight.
Is it with the goat?
So, what was that roll on the D20?
A one. Jesus.
He is so distracted by my dipshit ass just chatting away
Yeah,
all
hold
night.
up. Why don't you sleep anymore? Everything's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
what it
yeah, I'd
used
like to
be.
know.
What?
We can discuss it later.
Okay.
The only
Nothing's
thing
the same
that
and
you
I'm
witness
so thorough.
besides the snakes and everything else is as the two of you are watching the door, you do see the three witches return to that cauldron, probably sometime around 4 a.m. or so. All three gaze in your direction. They pick up the cauldron and go through the foyer, the front doors of the mansion, and leave.
Wait, how big was that cauldron?
Fairly good size. It took the three of them to lift it and carry it.
Wow.
It was
I'm impressed.
empty at the time.
You just
They'd
gonna
already
let
taken
three
out of
old
it.
ladies carry that big thing by themselves? You're not gonna help them out?
Yeah, be a gentleman.
I am a gentleman, and I help them carry it out.
And that's the
The
last
three-
we ever saw Ficus.
Yep, bye. Ficus
Three
off
kind
to
of
go
look
join the
sideways.
I have a -1 for strength.
Oh, you're actually doing this?
Why not? I'm not gonna like let some weird people walk by me and like look that they're encumbered and not help.
I was joking about us TPKing tonight for our birthday.
Hey, the one that
But-
dies the most gets to die tonight.
As you help them carry the cauldron out, the three look at you. One of them goes, "Aren't you a kind woman? Thank you." Leads out.
Soul follows them.
You just follow. You don't help. You just follow.
Slightly behind. I would just cautiously with my weapon.
Outside, with the swampy water part of the way up the wheels, there is a cart, and the cart is being pulled by a pair of skeletal horses. And the witches go and put the cauldron in the back, and then begin to climb in. And they turn and say, "Thank you for this kind consideration. Here, have a gift." And they reach out their hand to drop something into yours.
Great. We're friends with witches. I think we're all evil.
What?
Sorry, you're right.
When they let go,
There's at least two in this party. That
a
I'm not
centipede,
evil, I'm dumb.
a centipede lands in your hand, crawls and wraps around your finger.
Don't like that.
Nope.
And I will let you know what that new magic item does in the morning.
We
Damn
like
Damn it, I wanted a magic
It,
item.
it wraps around your finger and hardens, and it is around the joint. You can still move your fingers fine, but you have a
We got a centipede ring.
metallic now centipede that has wrapped around one of your fingers.
nice.
I'm gonna look at
Great.
Soul and be like, at least it's not in my belly. And then like lead us back inside after Soul was specifically like, don't let gods go in your stomach.
Hey, fair enough. I'm just gonna be happy to see that there's at least still some kind folk in Barovia.
Applying life lessons right away. Way to go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
We're learning. The toddler and the really intelligent, but not very wise and very weak halfling.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Look,
Yeah.
it's better than the foothold of Strahd right here.
Yeah, this could be so much worse. We could be you two.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sitting pretty.
You two of you return. The rest of the night is uneventful, and the next day rises. The morning is yours.
As Uther starts to rise, Ficus will have prayed to Cyriloli, that's how we're going to say that name, at some point during the night, switching out her gift of sleight of hand to take proficiency in medicine. And Ficus is going to walk over to Uther, and right as Uther's eyes shoot open, she's just gonna be like, "Hey, I'm just gonna check some of the parts that are cut open on you." And Ficus is going to attempt to look at the scars and see if there's anything she can do from where she stabbed him in the face and in the gut.
I'm fine.
I know, but you want this to heal in a really cool way. You don't want to look stupid if you're gonna reign over Barovia. And Ficus will just really lean into his face and just make sure that it's kind of coming together okay. Because Leaf healed the face one, but then she'll really take time with the one that's on his chest. Because she feels bad about cutting you open.
He's literally gonna sit up in his bed and kind of grab Ficus. It's just, I appreciate the help, and I'm sure that a disgusting scar would be appropriate for when I reign over Barovia.
You're gonna want it to be a hot scar, I'm just saying. Ficus will go make breakfast for everyone too.
So what is the plan?
Is it still creepy and foggy?
Oh yeah.
It's
It's just a little bit brighter creepy and foggy instead of dark creepy and foggy.
There's
But not very bright creepy and foggy.
There's not anything in the Book of Feathers about where to find Muriel, is there?
So as you do look into the book, you work your way through and you do find maps of the various towns.
Hey.
So you are able to you see this. It's actually a comparison of Berez prior to its destruction and post destruction. And in the post destruction, there is an additional house. It looks that's marked near the center of town, just really a few blocks away from the mansion. That is labeled as Baba Lysaga's hut. The shrine is across the river, and it's outside of town across the river. It would take a little bit longer
So,
to get to.
Here on the map? Or here? We've had this whole nice map up the whole time.
Yep. So you all are effectively here. Now the scale is bonkers on this map. Each square is 50 feet or something.
Okay.
So this is just a general idea.
Right.
So there is a building of some kind labeled Baba Lysaga's hut.
Cool.
That is on the new one.
Baby lasagna. Yep.
Yep, that's down there. And then the shrine is across the river over here.
Here. Cool.
You relate us to the rest of the party?
No.
Sorry, let me fix
Um,
that so everybody can see where you're pointing.
She said no.
Sorry, I
No, it's
Tried
all
to
good.
bounce
It
things
was,
around.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure people could see. All right, you want to ping that
I
one more
have
time?
follow-up questions
The
before I
shrine is
talk to
over
Soul,
here, right?
okay?
Yep, shrine is over here.
Where all the colored circles are. So cool shrine, still looking for Muriel. Anything about the Fane herself?
So there is a description of all of the Fanes in there. And it is noted that the Huntress Fane went
Right.
missing quite a while ago.
Okay.
Occasionally, the Weaver Fane appears and reappears, usually accompanying one of the other Fanes.
Right.
As you read through the Book of Feathers, it begins to it paints this picture of, it's almost as if the weaverfane is trying to find or help or chase after the huntress continually.
Right.
You do read that the Keepers of the Feather are quite confident that the Seeker of the Vistani, Mother Ava, is the
Ava.
Seeker Fane.
Oh,
What?
Yep.
Who made that noise?
I'm not sure who made that noise.
Was that you, Soul?
yeah, stuck my toe. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought you were surprised at that, and I'm like, no, we've known that for weeks. But okay, but doesn't say anything specific about like location of this Muriel person that we got told to meet.
Well, you were told that Muriel would be at the shrine, so you're quite confident.
Oh, at the
Yeah.
shrine. Cool, cool,
Yep.
cool.
So she was going to be at the shrine.
Okay, cool. Guess it's time to ford the river. Now I'll tell the rest of the group.
For my morning ritual where I make my spell or choose my spells, can I attempt to try and pray to true death?
Reach
Not
out to death
Strahd.
itself.
Yes, I want to pray to the aspect of death that my culture worships, not Strahd.
Aaron,
Okay.
during the
Good
morning.
job.
Do you tell anyone that you're trying to pray to true death?
Who prays the death?
Why would you? So that's sure. You're
Okay.
attempting to reach out.
Noir reminds me of a valid point about morning routines.
15.
15. So you enter this state of prayer. You reach out for death itself, trying to see what it is that you feel. And
Yeah, I'm trying to separate Strahd from what I actually worship.
Yep. So the sense that you get with a 15 is that voice you keep hearing, the one that you've always heard whispered, that has never been Strahd. But you're not sure what it is. You don't think it's the death that you know.
All right, then the rest of my time is just going to be trying to reach out to whatever it is to better understand it. But that's how I'm getting my spells back.
Okay.
Or that's how I'm selecting my spells, is just doing that.
Okay. So are you gonna try and engage that thing again, or just?
Yeah,
in
oh,
general?
absolutely. Should I roll again?
No. I just wanted
Okay.
I wanted to clarify that that's. What
Oh
you were
yeah,
trying to do. Yep.
he's trying to reach out to it. You know, you're not Strahd, but I don't believe that you're the one that my kid worshipped. Present yourself.
You feel, whatever your posture, it doesn't matter what's behind you. If you're against a wall, it doesn't matter. You feel two cold hands reach over your shoulder. And you feel a presence close to your right ear. And you can feel, for lack of a better descriptor, breath. So eager to meet.
If you were the death of... If you were the death that was told to me in stories as a child, then you would know that I am eager to meet you because we regard you as a friend.
Friend. Not of yours. Not of them. But maybe you.
I am interested. Tell me more.
I have been watching. From the time you entered this land. You disregard its master. You spit in the face of failure and death. You are willing to do whatever it takes. I am interested. If you are, I will keep watching.
Then keep watching. And should we come to an agreement, may you aid me in the destruction of Strahd.
I have not decided if I would choose you instead. And you feel something push off against your shoulders. And before that breath completely disappears, there's a sharp coldness that you feel through your chest. And I'm going to DM you something in a minute while everyone else does their morning.
Secrets.
Bright every morning since meeting her has constantly had very intricate makeup around her eyes that she like redoes every morning. It never comes off. She sleeps in makeup, it's bad, but like she fixes it every morning, and today it's gone. She's not putting it on anymore, so she just has very red rimmed eyes instead of this like shimmery white, which it used to be.
Going for a new look, Bright?
I don't think she's gonna respond to that at all. She doesn't even know why, but she's just not gonna do it today.
Oh, this is great.
I don't. Listen.
I guess in that case, Soul's just going to just do a quick check of the perimeter after his prayers. Just basically waiting for all his fleshy friends to get ready to go and make our next move.
You guys, last night, I helped the hags take their cauldron out. Sol was there too. But I helped, and they gave me this ring, and it's a really cool ring. It was a centipede, and then it went metal, so that was super cool.
I'm interested.
But I think Leaf or Bright, you should have it.
Well, it's metal. I like it. What is
so you know how like gods and stuff happen. My gods are now like protecting me against poisons and stuff like that, and this ring here can also protect people from poison. And it also like can probably do something else that's really cool, but I don't need it as much because poison won't hurt me as much going forward, but I think poison still hurts you two a lot.
I never really want it because I just want everything. But also, like, Bright's never in battle, so probably leave. I don't. But also, it's metal, so Bright wants
Bright. Why don't you wear it? It looks like one of your creations. In a manner.
That is fair.
As Ficus starts to take the centipede off her finger, it becomes a centipede again in her hand and crawls over her hand, kind of doing that walk thing to keep it from getting away.
I mean,
I keep my fingers very tight and like just stick my hand out towards Bright.
Now that it's not metal, it's less exciting. Oh, there.
As you take it, it curls around and becomes metal around your finger.
I will drop that
Yep,
to
go ahead.
you.
Thank you. So
That is the magic item, thanks to chat.
Thank you.
It is effectively a perfect against poison
Ah.
with an extra bonus.
Yeah, that bonus almost made me keep it, and I was like, stop it, you're being an ass. Like, you have advantage against poison and you're resistant to it, so you need to calm down.
That is very kind. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't need it as much.
Well, I will find some use for this, I'm sure.
So what's the plan?
Well,
Does anyone?
did we want to go investigate the shrine? Sorry, I'm speaking out of character.
Yeah. So Bright, after morning prep and such, still has the book out like during breakfast and is flipping through and finding all of this information as we're doing all of this, and finally like locates the shrine thing and then just pushes the book to the middle of their huddle, I guess, and points out the map of. So this says that this is where we are right now. This is the new edition of the hag we just met, and it appears that the shrine is across the river. So it's not really a good place to cross, except for many miles from here. So I don't know how, but we have to get there.
Well, I mean, how bad is it to cross the river? It just, I know how to swim, and
It is at least 150 feet across, apparently, according to the scale that the GM just said.
GM scale was half. I just double checked the scale. Each square is 100 feet.
Sweet. No. It is at least 300 feet across.
That would be a
And-
long swim.
Some of us are made of solid metal, I will remind you.
yeah, but I mean, do you need to technically breathe, Solaire? Or could you just like walk across the bottom?
I never tried, but I'm not too. Be interested to see. You hold my hammer for me, and anything I get soggy.
Well, nah, hang on, let's see
Like,
what I can
I
do.
mean, do you breathe? I'm not sure how you work. This is a terrible thing to ask a person, isn't it?
Oh!
No,
Hang on,
no.
I need
no.
to read my spellbook.
I apparently
I
get
might-
this all the time.
I might be able to fix this. Hang on. I have levitate, guys. I did not realize this.
When we start talking about breathing, Ficus is going to suddenly realize that she hasn't taken a breath recently and just panic.
You don't sleep? Now you don't breathe? Did you die when we weren't looking?
Yes.
Well, you weren't paying attention.
I was dead.
Well, yes,
And then I
but
was
like,
not.
are you undead now?
I am a revived rogue.
Okay. Can I insight check corn dog, please?
Can I eyes of the grave corn dog?
Me?
What
Dog,
what does
how are you feeling
Ficus
right
what
now?
does Ficus look like under Eyes of the Grave?
Normal. She looks fine.
Yep.
Okay.
Not undead.
Not
It's
undead.
just one of those things where you're suddenly aware of your own breathing. I've had that. It's fine.
Oh my gosh. I also just saw
Okay.
the other thing. She doesn't need to eat or drink either.
What happened to Ficus?
What did you do? You don't
I took a different rogue subclass when she died. And came back.
Listen.
Oh.
She died a lot. It made sense.
I agree. But also, you're sounding closer and closer to Team Uther and Bright at this point. Like, you're
Nah,
the right- you're the
I'm
right
sounding
kind-
closer and closer to Team Soul. I don't need to breathe right now. You fuckers still do.
You're
The
the right
robot.
kind of weird for us, though.
Team robots. Here we are.
So, are we heading to the river?
I potentially have
Uther's just gonna
a-
walk past evereverybody. And go,
There we
"Hey,
go.
Question.
Thank you.
Yep, there it is. All right,
he
well,
back,
fine.
baby.
Okay, well, fine. Well, I'm
If
going
he
to
walks
fix
by
it,
me,
Zen,
I'ma
and
dance
none
at
of
him.
you are going to find out how until I actually do it, because this is what we are like now.
As you
I have a plan, y'all.
as you
This is
leave
fine.
as you leave the mansion, there's a thin fog throughout, but once you get outside the grounds, it goes back to that incredibly dense fog. Just like before, you can use some skills to try and navigate to a place that you've never been. Because of the map, any survival checks will be done with advantage.
welcome.
+2 to Ficus. Hey, thanks for the raid there,
Hey.
Mark. The Mark
Thanks, Mark Knight.
DM the
Eh.
Mark Knight. That's what it is.
Should we have like searched the house, guys? Ficus will say as like everyone's out of the house and they're
As
like
everyone
grabbing
walks
the
away
last
from
of the
the house.
snacks and stuff like that. I don't. It's
No.
weird that this one's
No.
like still standing. Okay, nope. Okay, Ficus will just chase after the rest of the group.
It was the manor house, so it was most likely constructed with better quality than all the rest of the houses. It does not surprise me that it would still be up.
Yeah, but wasn't like this guy the guy who like really fucked up? Wasn't this the burgomaster's house?
This
Why would
was-
Strahd leave it standing?
You made a good burger.
So,
As a testament to his failure. If someone were to cross me, I would make sure that everyone knew where the fool lived who thought that they might oppose Uther. So that they might learn their lesson seeing his homestead. Now, if we're done asking pointless questions, let's move on.
hey, here's a very pointed question. How far can you throw?
Enough. He keeps walking.
You can throw 300 feet?
I need someone
Problem.
to take a lead with a skill check. You tell me what check you're making and what's.
I rolled a 10.
I'll roll a survival check. Or
ahead.
I can roll an athletics.
Are you gonna?
Why?
How
Not
does
to- We're
athletic
not throwing rope yet.
fog?
We're
I'm
not,
not
fine.
sure.
We're not throwing rope yet. Hang on.
Ficus got another +2, by the way.
Uther would try to athletics reading a book.
No, he's athletics going to where the river is. He's just gonna haul ass and start running.
No, wait. We
You're-
need you for the rest of us to get across. Just
But we're not even got to the river yet. We're trying to find.
All right, go ahead and give me an athletics check. I know what I'll use it for.
Oh boy, I don't like how you said that.
Well, I had to figure out how to use it. It's
fucked around. Noir.
how do you,
You're just-
Now I find out. 23.
Hell yeah, baby.
that's fine. I'm just gonna hold on to that 23.
I'm gonna defeat the fog with athletics.
Punch
Alright.
it. Punch the fog.
If only there were 4 other characters that could make a skill option.
Well, yeah.
I rolled a
Just-
10.
On what? You still didn't say
On
what?
survival. I thought it said it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Did you roll with advantage?
No.
Roll
It's
with advantage.
I gave you the map.
Why does he get advantage? I roll with the 14.
Because having
you
a
don't
map does
listen
not
to
help your
me.
athletics.
You don't listen to me.
I rolled survival first.
Bench press the fog.
Hey, 23 is a good number. A couple,
That's
some
so
of that
better.
fog moved.
Still better. Yeah.
Oh my
So,
god.
so Soul kind of takes the lead and starts pointing which direction to go. The rest of you start following along, and it doesn't take very long before there's this gurgling growl of as one of these bloated zombies rises out of the water. Uther
Okay.
immediately grabs it by its collar and chucks it into the fog where you hear it splash in the distance. And it doesn't just splash, it splashes and splatters in the distance.
God
Alright.
damn it, Soul, we're going the wrong way.
Was it wet? Because if it's wet, then we might be going the right way.
Every direction.
Everything's wet.
All right. Can
the
Ficus
rest of you-
attempt to do a
Yeah.
survival check?
Yeah, I would like
Yes,
Ficus
yes.
and Leaf to try to steer
There
us
we
back
go.
in the right
Go ahead.
direction.
You would think the ones with the highest survival stat would be eager to roll first, but
You would think, but it's not
Uh,
that great.
Corndog, I will remind you that Ficus received a +2 recently.
Yeah, that's going to be a 15 instead.
Oh, that sounds like exactly the right
perfect.
number to not
Wow.
get lost in the fog.
My one! If only chat would give me a +2.
Listen, you're finding out enough.
You
Ficus
just
starts.
yeeted a zombie.
Ficus just kind of taps this way and starts leading the way, and it doesn't take too much longer before you lead the group closer to the river. So that's a failure or success. I need another survival check or some other way to help find your way to.
Alright, I'm rolling.
Are we just trying to
Alright.
get to the
Leaf.
river?
You're
Let
just trying
Leaf
to get
roll
there.
it.
So
Yeah,
it's
no.
Leaf.
Okay.
Leaf and Bright
Okay.
haven't
Or-
acted yet, so
Okay, sorry.
Think of
Would
it
you
in
like
soup-
me to use perception instead of survival? It's a
Either way is
same-
fine with you.
It's
your
the
choice.
same number, so it's sort of like.
If you
just
roll
use his-
survival, you get advantage. If you roll perception, I'd probably give you advantage on that too because you know which way to look.
Sure. I'll
Otherwise,
do...
I have
The only thing that
different
changes is
stuff
the
to do.
description on successes or failures.
I am going to break this dang streak I'm on.
Okay, Noir. Okay.
Deception streak.
Yes! I will take the 16 rather than the 1 plus 5 for 21.
Okay, so as you are trying to squint through the fog, you suddenly catch a bright flash. It goes away after a moment. And for it to be daylight and flashing is quite unusual, but you see that glint of light again cut through the fog. It seems like you have enough experience in tracking and other things. It seems like a signal of some kind, so you lead the way further that direction. Bright, how are you helping out in the trip to the river?
I have the Nefesh in my hands, and
Yep.
I am hoping that some sort of connection to the Fanes themselves will be enough to help me kind of sense the right way that the shrine is. Even though it's not the correct one, it might be enough of in the same network to help.
Okay,
Arcana, I guess?
go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Sweet. Yeah, just dropped my phone. It's fine. 15.
15's enough.
Hey.
You take out this Nefesh of the Huntress, and you hear in the back of your mind that howling of the wolves. And you look deep within it, trying to engage this part of the soul of this eternal Fane. And there is a pair of streaks of light that show up within it, almost like a long streak and a short streak, like the minute hands and hour hand on a clock.
Mm-hmm.
One of them points in the direction that you're all headed.
Perfect.
The shorter one is pointing backwards and over your shoulder a little ways.
Like, towards Yesterhill?
Technically that direction, yes.
A.
With that, you make your way to the edge of the river. The fog clears. Behind you, you can see this. The fog, the density of the fog outside of Berez is not like that within. As you turn to look, it's almost like you're looking through a window streaked with grease. You can see the ruins of the village. You can see them flickering into and out of existence. For a moment, they're normal, and the next, they're sunken. For a moment, there are people walking the street, and the next, there are corpses in the swamp. There's just this continual shifting between torment. As you stare across the river, you can see a football field away the trio of stones. Well, the 3 stones and then the single in the middle. And there is a figure leaning from behind one of the stones with what appears to be a mirror and a lantern shining light in your direction. When she sees that you've seen her, she raises a hand and ducks back behind the stone.
Leaf will raise a hand in response.
Yeah, Bright did as well. We need to get the rope across, and then I can get us all around.
If
So
anybody-
can you throw a knot?
Wait, what are you trying to get across?
A rope?
We have an archer.
Okay. But I asked Uther. 'cause
Do
I
we
wanna
have
see.
300 feet plus of rope?
That's valid.
Well, let's see what we have before we make any decisions. I, for one, have 50 feet of rope. Does anyone have any?
Likewise.
So that's 100.
I
I
got.
also have
50.
50.
That's
200.
250.
Wait, do I have a rope? Nope, I got chains.
Well,
How much? Okay, well, how long is your chain?
About 50.
I can make that work. That'll be great for leverage.
it needs to find a place to hold fast on the other side of the river, and then we are good.
Let me check the boot real quick too.
Yeah.
So
that
you're
would be
still
great.
50 feet short.
Oh yeah, because there's only 5 of us. Because we left our NPC that we kept forgetting about.
See, 100, 200, 250, you're right.
We're so good at math, everyone.
How fast is the river going?
Yeah. Tell
It could be-
us about this river.
So you're looking across this slow-moving, northern flowing black river. There are weeds choking it, lily pads. You can see frogs, turtles, creatures of all kinds ducking in and out of the water. A few dead fish float by. It is navigable, and probably wouldn't be overly difficult to simply swim.
Okay. But
Uh,
hey guys,
Are there any trees nearby?
A handful of trees, yes.
I have the robe of useful items. So we
I'm
have
gonna say,
enough
this
rope.
50 feet of
Oh, that's
rope.
excellent. Hey, thanks for the raid there, Lark Network.
Hello.
Welcome, Larks.
It's our birthday.
It's our one year stream anniversary
We're
Well,
1
for
year
this-
old.
For this
for
group.
this group.
It's our 1 year of this campaign. I also have a riding horse that we could just like trot across.
So do you have additional rope?
I do have additional rope.
A magnanimous
So we could-
dispensation.
Do that
Hey.
unless we want to try and swim, which would save me a spell slot.
Give me the rope.
I am
I
giving
will.
you the rope.
While they're doing that, could Ficus go for a quick jog up and down, just near them to see if there's any boats over here, just on the chance that there's a single rowboat just sitting here and we're all just like, let's figure this out the hard way when really there's been a helpful.
Go ahead and make a perception check as you go run up and down. We'll let the dice decide.
Without having to breathe.
To get across.
Without having to breathe.
You
Oh my
fucking
god, I
weirdo.
could run forever.
I'm so proud of you.
27.
So you start running up and down the bank of the river, and you do find the remains of Berez's docks. And there is a single busted up rowboat that might hold water long enough to get across.
I can cast mending on it.
Ficus will just shout to the others, "Hey guys, I found a boat!" As I'm sure Uther is like sitting there nodding. Still rope.
Does this boat look like it will hold the entire party?
Maybe not all at once, but we could make a couple trips.
Yeah, that would work. Which direction is the river? Is the river going towards the northeast?
Yep.
That's what it looks like. Yeah, okay. So, yeah,
It's like,
the easy thing is if we put in upriver from where we want to be, the river current will carry us and make the trip easier. And then we can do
It
the
is
same
upriver.
coming back.
Just gonna shout that into existence.
That's fine.
There we go.
great.
Uther is now starting to walk across the river.
Okay. No, I adore this. This is
Okay.
fine.
I think
Uther
Leaf
starts-
would run back to Ficus and help her with the boat.
Okay. And then Bright is casting mending on the boat. The boat is fine. The boat can carry the other 4 of you.
All right. Well, we did not need the rope after all because you found a boat. Thank you.
Go ahead and somebody give me a survival check to row the boat across while
I
Uther
will.
walks
Let-
across.
I will do
Please.
that.
Oh, I
Thank you.
definitely want to roll this just because I want to roll by.
Survival seems like
11 plus
boating
5,
to me.
16.
16's fine.
I rolled to see what I would get, and I rolled a 1.
So as Uther walks across, and I'll figure that out later. As Uther is walking across the river, and you row your way across, Muriel meets you on the bank, just
Yay.
about 100 feet away from the shrine itself, and she looks your way and says, "Hi, hello. I received word that you all would be coming. That you're helping the Keepers of the Feather. Yes.
Yes, we have plenty to talk to you about.
That's fantastic. Did you retrieve the Nefesh?
The what?
Yours, unfortunately, not. We have not laid eyes on your shrine yet, so we only have.
Is
one.
Muriel one of the or
woman.
one of the?
My
I don't
shrine.
know if she's a Fane,
No,
but
she doesn't have.
I don't mean like her shrine, but like the shrine she's near.
Oh,
Muriel pulls her hood back, and you see before you
She's a bird.
a wereraven.
Yeah.
She has an extended beak, black feathers. She's in her hybrid form. She looks at you. She kind of settles and says, "No, not mine."
In the wines, though, yes, we found that one, but we don't know which one it goes to, and we don't know a lot.
Well, so the Nefesh you have, does it react when you touch it? It should howl, correct?
Yes. I
Yeah.
pull it out. As long as we're not like just still having this conversation in the boat, I imagine that we've
No,
gone-
everybody
yeah.
gets out of the water,
cool.
makes their way up.
Yeah.
It's definitely the Nefesh of the Huntress.
Yes.
But
which shrine is this?
This is the Shrine of the Weaver. She guides you over to the
That's why I
shrine,
have Weaver on the map.
and the 3 stones on the exterior, each one is devoted to an individual Fane. One's covered in wolves and teeth. One is covered in spiders and yarn. One is covered in ravens and eyes. And in the center, there is an altar. And at the base of the altar, there is a white granite or white marble bowl.
Okay.
And there is a red liquid inside. The shrine in the center is also made of this. It's a green veined marble, and it has smeared on its sides what appears to be blood. And Muriel says she's not been here for a few days. She'll probably be back here soon.
We don't have much time to waste, unfortunately. If there is any way that you can get her to come faster, we would really need that.
Oh no, the Huntress? We have no idea where she is. Baba Lysaga is the one that comes to the shrine.
Wait, what?
Every day at noon, she comes and fills the bowl with blood and smears the altar with blood.
Why?
We've
She's
never
not.
found out. All of the shrines are desecrated in some way regularly. The Seeker Shrine is covered in this strange, viscous, oily
The
substance.
black oil. I remember. We couldn't understand it, but yeah, that makes sense now. It's all being desecrated. Probably at that vile Strahd's order, I would imagine.
We're fairly certain that yes, that he is behind these desecrations.
If we were to
Oh.
face the witch
Why not
here,
try?
would you be able to assist us in that fight?
Not effectively, no.
Well, at least we'd have the advantage of knowing when and where she'll be. We could attempt to surprise her. I like having that advantage.
She will be here at noon, yes. But I don't know what it is she desecrates this shrine with.
It just looks to be
You
blood,
cannot tell
probably
it's
some
blood?
form of sacrifice.
Well, yes, but
Vile
she doesn't kill
magic.
anything here. She brings it with her. It must come from somewhere.
Okay.
So is going to inspect the altar. Is there any way he can see
you
if he
have,
can
like, a
at least
hollow
clean
spell
the
for
blood or
this?
the desecration?
Ask that again.
How to clean the.
How can is there any way Soul can see fix the desecration, clean the blood, by it?
Go ahead and make a religion check.
All right.
Oh, baby.
It hasn't come up on mine yet.
I got a 6.
6. Nothing comes to mind. Although you are familiar with the rituals of Lathander, you really don't have much context for the Fanes of Barovia, which are fey beings rather than divines. So, I mean, maybe a hollow spell would help.
Well,
But-
we'd have to clean the blood out first, at least, I would assume.
Well, let's not touch anything yet. We don't want her to think there's anything amiss if we do set a trap for her.
What if
Yeah.
we cleaned the blood out and put wine in?
I'm
No,
sorry,
come
but
with
it is
blood.
very easy to tell the difference.
I mean, not when you're coming in through a bunch of fog and not expecting for there to be a difference.
I don't think the fog works for her the same way it works for us.
Yeah, this land favors her. All right. Well, I'm party for the ambush.
I think if we are not tiring ourselves out with fighting nonsensical scarecrows before she arrives, we have a better chance. And if we talk, and I'm just glaring at every single one of us in turn.
Really, at me, at the
You-
don't want to kill people guy.
You want to speak with her?
No, is if we plan what we're
Oh.
doing.
You mean we as a group talk?
Yes.
Okay, of course I'm with you on that.
So
Ficus will pull out 2 spears from the boot and pass them off to Uther and be like, "This way, you
Did
can
Uther
be."
make it back yet?
Oh yeah, is Uther
Oh, yeah.
there yet?
Yeah, you were just walking along beside the boat. I figured you'd be there the whole time.
Oh, my bad. I thought he was still crossing the river.
He was
No,
actually just
sorry,
hanging on
sorry,
his
I
hand
just-
on the boat, just
Right.
like
I didn't make it
walking
clear
the boat
enough. It's like the two of you just walked, like you walked over there while they rode.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
Then,
sorry.
No worries. Then in that case,
you were just ghost
We
riding
just
the
stayed
boat.
dried. That's the only difference.
They dry
Knife?
too.
Yeah.
What?
But yeah.
Wait,
whatever.
what?
Whatever you want to do, do
Well-
it. And if you end up doing it in a way that is failing, then we will adapt.
Well, how do you do things successfully? Because if we all talk about it, we may actually work together for once.
My plan was to cut her head off.
Okay, how do you suppose you're going to get to her head when she is up in the air on that dragon chariot?
Well,
no.
if she comes down to the ground, perhaps we can find a way to keep her on the ground. She has to, I would imagine.
Okay, who has
Walk
ways of
around
holding
the
her in
shrine.
place?
What?
Anyone else? Who has ways of holding her in place? Anyone else? Okay.
Not
I have-
specifically.
I have a wand of binding, which allows me to hold her in place. I also have a magical spell, which allows me to pull her towards us. So that is a way that we can get her there. What are the rest of you going to do? So that we're not going about it in different strategies. The more we plan, the faster it's going to be over.
For a moment before we begin, I can put a protection around Uther, who's most likely to be in her face, or Ficus, either one of you, although Ficus,
Yeah.
perhaps you'd prefer using your bow.
Ficus, you do well hiding, yes?
Oh yeah.
So we should hide you first. Where is it going to work out best for everyone else to be?
Cutting her head off.
Question,
This is a
person.
multi-step process. You don't understand that.
Muriel.
Yes,
Where
yes,
does
yes.
does she get out of her skull, the big skull thing, to walk in here?
She usually lands a few dozen feet away. And
Wait,
then
can you show me the area that she normally lands
We
in?
need to find cover for some of us.
she walks you over to a space it's mostly clear around the shrine. There's no foliage or trees or anything else along the way. It's basically just amongst the still swampy ground. It's a little bit of a dry spot that sits up above the rest of the swampy ground, and a little bit of a winding path that leads to the rest of the way of the shrine.
You want to speak strategy? Here's something that you can do for me. And he takes out his greatsword. Things that are protected from mundane weapons are protected from me. If you can overcome that, then I might more easily cut her head off.
Is that something you can do, Bright?
Yes.
Yeah, she did it for me.
But
Is
not
it
until she is
something you're...
almost here. And I toss it back to him.
Is it done?
No, I will need to touch it again after we plan this and right before it is about to be time. Doesn't last that long, but okay?
Understood.
So you two should be near each other then.
Yes.
I suppose we shall.
So what we are going to do, because we're coming up on our close of our time, is we will allow all of you the 2 weeks between now and then, and I will give you a layout of the shrine to figure out where you're going to be and why. But for the sake of drama, I am going to skip ahead just a moment to her arrival, so you at least get her arrival.
Yay!
Because you already know about where she's going to land anyway. So as all of you are in your various positions, waiting and wondering, as noon grows closer and closer, Muriel turns completely into raven form and flies up onto the top of the Seeker's, the stone part of the shrine dedicated to the Seeker. Calls a few times and waits. Just as noon arrives, the skull of the silver dragon flies in and lands exactly where expected. And a woman steps out. In one hand, she carries a bucket of some kind. And with the other, she runs her hand through her luxurious black hair, her flawless skin. And as she pulls her hand through her hair, flicks her hand into the bucket itself, and begins to walk toward the shrine. That is where we will end for the evening. And we will pick up in 2 weeks. Want to thank everyone for coming in and joining us as we find our way to the end of the Berez segment of our Curse of Strahd campaign. We shall see what happens and what they plan in the coming weeks. So we're going to stick around. If you're new here, do stick around. So we wait around for a bit with any comments, questions, concerns, conundrums, or qualms that anyone wants to float, rather from the audience or from us players to one another. It's one of the ways to check in. It's an emotional check-in. It's a game check-in. It's a gameplay check-in. It's a are we having fun check-in. It's a, what questions might you have check-in. So do join us for that. After 10 or 15 minutes or so, we'll wrap up, and that will be the end of the stream. I want to thank all of you for sticking around. Stick around longer, but for now, if there's any comments, questions, concerns, conundrums, or qualms, feel free to float them.
I'm very
Oh.
excited that we're actually going to plan this. This is going to be the most well planned out thing. I'm very excited, both as Niffer and as Bright, to be like, listen, we are doing this with a plan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jinx it. We're gonna go
Not?
forward.
Can you not? Let me have this.
Oof is just thinking, yeah, all these plans are gonna go to shit, and then I'm gonna cut her fucking head off.
No, listen. The reason that we plan is so that we get you in the right place, the right time to cut her head off. That's what plans are for.
That's right. We want to overwhelm.
Okay? I am optimizing your head cutting ability. Just let me. Okay? I am a support class. Let me do my job.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about it. It's gonna be, for again, as a player and for, like you just said, Nif, I think the way Leaf is thinking as well is like, yeah, we keep running headlong into all these confrontations without any sort of like thought or preparation, and that's super not the way. He's a hunter, so it's, for him, it's all about like stalking and understanding your prey and you know, planning where you're going to be, when you're going to strike, you know, are you upwind, are you downwind, you know, and all these kind of factors that he would normally take into account, and we haven't done any of that, and Bright keeps asking us to, and it's like we just keep getting thrust into these situations, or Uther goes and runs headlong into the situation, so we don't have a choice.
Yeah. Bright
Because something's head off.
Bright isn't necessarily like, oh, I understand why it works, but she understands working with a group, and this so far has not been that. And that's why she keeps being like, guys, we need to know what we're all good at so we can all actually contribute.
Cutting things heads off.
Again, listen, that is end goal. But you need to make sure that you're in the right spot to do so. And
Step
that's what the
one,
plan is for.
cut something's head off. Step 2, bathe in his blood.
Uther.
All right,
Uther.
Conan.
Uther, if you want a lieutenant and caretaker for Tobias, you will listen to my plans.
I just heard that flowchart in my head. It's just
Yes.
attacking, cut off his head. Am I bathing his blood? Swing again. Yes.
That's the flowchart.
If yes, stop. Otherwise,
If no, do it again.
Swing again.
Being not
so-
dead, keep swinging.
there is something that Nif brought up beforehand that I want to bring up.
Yes.
So we are at our 1-year streamiversary of this game.
Woo!
So we have done 24 sessions in a full calendar year, which I think is pretty damn good. Congratulations, everybody. And then the other note about that is this is the morning of the 8th day in game. Went back to check because I didn't believe it.
Worst.
So Nif, do you want to expand a little bit on what
Yeah.
you were talking about that?
So I'm currently being a big ball of angst about this because if you were watching the episode, we got to have a long rest and we got to have in like one-on-one talks of like, okay, Leaf just sat down and was like, hey, wait, you're adopted? I was adopted, like all that. And I brought up something that Uther told to me, to Bright, half an hour ago in game, and it's been 6 weeks. And for me, that's just been really stressful because I am not a neurotypical with a good memory, and I'm trying to take notes, and I take really good ones, but I still lose so much over that time. And it's just been really frustrating to me of like, we all are really good at RP. Like, we are so good at knowing our characters and what they would do, except me when I turn evil, apparently. And
I like Evil Bright.
I could too. But still, like, for me, I'm really struggling with, I want to have the conversations and I want to be deep in the moment, but when the moment isn't there immediately and you have to keep pausing the moment and bringing, like, pausing the moment for like 6 weeks until you can address it, it feels like it loses its significance and you don't really think exactly what you were gonna say. Like, I had whole other plans for that conversation with Uther, and I don't remember any of them, which means that instead of having a logical argument for Uther, Bright's just kind of dark now. Because I lost that argument because I wasn't prepared. But so that's just been a struggle for me. It's just like we don't have the time to engage in the deep RP that we kind of like. We start it and then we have to grind for a while. And then
that's kind of the trouble with bi-weekly games in general, though.
Exactly.
Like, with every bi-weekly game that I've played, that's been the issue. It's just like
even just a weekly game is still incredibly hard to come back to because there's a whole week's worth of things in between. And so like staying in character and remembering what we were trying to do has been a struggle for me every other week.
I don't know how you pros juggle multiple personalities, to be honest, because
Yeah, I have games 3 days in a row that I have to be switching between.
Oh yeah, I've gone into sessions on Thursday, full Ficus, and I'm like, well, Judo is not this way at all. She is, she has some stark differences, and she's just going in there like, fuck it, I've got weird shit going on, and like just a little bit more hyper, like little high-strung energy, and Juno's just very like.
I've got 3 games on Wednesdays.
Oh my god!
Whoa! I use a trick. It might help you all if for anyone that is considering doing such is like come up with like a catchphrase or a saying or a manner of speaking that it like instantly triggers. So Leaf, I just have to start kind of like growling a little bit, and it's immediately jump into character.
Well, I mean, I have different accents for all of my characters on purpose, but that still doesn't help me remember from 6 weeks
No,
ago.
Yeah, of course
what
not.
exactly did he
Of course
say
not. Yeah,
that
sorry, I got off
needed
on
to
a
respond,
tangent.
Yeah.
For me, I generally try to and this sounds silly, but I have like a mental like save game here kind of deal, and for each person I try to save 3 very important moments, and that helps me to relate to each of you the way that he would. For example, for Bright, first moment is just their general interactions with Bright, Uther, and Toby. The second saved memory is the one where it was the card that you pulled where they were essentially put in a cage together.
Yep.
And
My bad.
Yeah. And then the third was when we went to see the Vistani troop that didn't do things the way that your Vistani troop did. So like I've got those 3 that are just like different flavors of interactions between the 2 of them. Yeah. And that helps me get back to, when we have that conversation.
Yeah.
It's just like, I remember when we were cool because of Tobias. I remember when I hated your guts because I felt powerless because of some weird shit you did.
Thanks, Grandma.
And I also kind of remember you being sad because your family wasn't what you thought it was, even though I thought they were more awesome. So it's just... So that helps me remember the tone of how each character relates. Yeah. In terms of specific details, with our conversation, I couldn't remember exactly everything that happened, but there are key moments from the last few sessions, like being in Strahd's house, that dinner, because that dinner played a major factor in how Uther and Bright were relating, because Bright's the only reason Uther did just try and cut Strahd's head off there. And then I just took that and use that for the conversation that we had. I don't know if that helps at all, but that's how I did.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely like I still get the tone of our relationship. Like I had a speech prepared. And I practiced the speech for the first interval of like our 2 weeks. I'm just like, this is what I'm gonna say. And then I didn't get to give that speech the next session. And I'm like, okay, I just need to keep that speech. And the longer that it goes, it just slips away.
Well, I kind of felt that, and I don't know if you heard me suggest it in the moment.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna crack the nut with Uther in one conversation. You gotta hammer at it, and you are actually.
No, I'm on your side now.
Yeah, well, I mean,
No,
yeah, I know.
I mean,
so it's kind of over. We're
Oh,
BFF villains, BFF BEG baby.
Evil BFFs. Oops.
Oops, all villains.
That does bring up an interesting topic, though, because we have Ficus, Leaf, and Soul that are definitely not going to give up
No.
Irina for the sake of saving anyone else. So what's as you start to think about, okay, well, we may have to deal with two big bads at the end of this. What's going through your guys' minds as players?
I think. Oh, you go ahead.
You go. I got a baby.
All
Well,
right.
I mean,
Hello, sweet baby.
Hi, baby.
I think for Ficus, like she's been struggling with Uther for about 4 days in game, or 5 days ever since the windmill incident. Ficus has kind of seen Uther more as a bully than anything, and she's just like kind of trying to appease her bully and not really like. She hadn't been really certain how to do that. I think she was just kind of like, he shoved me down the stairs, like he talks down to me, he treats me like shit, like, and it wasn't until like her interaction with the gods where she stood up to fucking gods and was like, no, fuck you. Whereas now, like, when Uther's talking, Ficus is just like, I don't fucking care anymore. And it took like that interaction to happen because she's rightfully scared of Uther. And when she heard Bright and Uther having that conversation, she's now coming to terms with the fact that like she might have to kill Bright, who she thinks is her friend. Like she already had it in her mind that there's a good chance like she might come fisticuffs with Uther or have to incapacitate him in some way, shape, or form. But like they're trying to get set up and Bright's like, we need a plan, and Bright's being very pushy and like aggressive right now, and Ficus is just not having it. Like that entire time where Nif was talking, I was just sitting here like, Ficus doesn't give a shit right now. Like Ficus can only think of, like, she doesn't care about baby lasagna. She cares about everything she heard the night before, because she is like, there's just two people who are just gonna do the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why am I traveling with them? And there's a real part of her now that wants to leave. Like,
look, we
Yeah.
all
Be
just
like-
want to not be here in this party.
Magnanimous
well, Ficus is like, I'll let
Hey!
Uther and Bright
Thanks
do whatever
again,
they want to
Mr.
do, but
Saito.
ugh.
Yeah. I mean, like, I've been like, oh, Bright's evil now, haha. That's not what Bright thinks. Like, Bright still has her moral code of, like, if he hurts Irina, I'm killing Uther. But if he's not gonna touch her, at least we have a better chance of influencing Uther to be good than Strahd. And so she's just like, look, go with the lesser of two evils. And
Yeah, Ficus doesn't want to go with any evil.
I would
agree.
say I can't imagine Solaire or Leaf, and probably I don't want to speak for anyone, but just based on choices that everybody's been making, I can't
Yeah.
see either or the three of them doing that. And that's the thing. I feel like I'm with you a lot on that, Corndog. It's kind of like I think Leaf sees Uther as a liability in some ways, and at the same time a responsibility in a sense of like, we came to this land together, so like there's a certain part of him that's like, well, he's one of us, so I've got to do what I can to try to protect him, even though he doesn't really need to be protected. But that's sort of like it's just what's been trained into him. He's a protector of nature. That's his role. And he sort of, because we came to this land together, took all of you on under that umbrella of like, okay, I need to look out for these people, and I'm sure that they're going to look out for me too if we do that. Like, because we were talking early on about like, oh, we're a family or we're a tribe or whatever.
I'm still mad that Uther was the first one that called us a clan.
Right.
By the way.
So he's been thinking about that, and at the same time, it's like, I kind of, as a player, maybe would imagine, and I don't know, but I would just think that, like, it seems to me like Uther's idea of, you know, maybe taking on that pact or taking those options are like, well, if we can't defeat Strahd, that's fine.
Yeah.
We can just do this.
Yeah.
Which I can understand as a player. Leaf is definitely of a mind that, like, he's on the hunt, he knows what his prey is, and now he's just going about the task of, like, you know, setting the trap.
Yeah.
You know, we need the nefeshes, we need the sword because we have the other two items, and we need to set these ladies or these, you know, Fanes back to their rights, restore them to power. Got it. Okay, once that's done, now it's on, and we can have this, you know, we can take Strahd, if ever, at that point. So
Also, like, this would be so much easier if Uther were not so begrudgingly effective. Like, if he was not so incredibly good at, like, we just run around, and he used that athletics to just, like, pick up the thing and just chuck it on her way. Like, I hate that I'm, like, that's Bright's thing. It's just like, look, he's gonna get it done. So I gotta make sure it gets done. Support that. You know, like, if he were not doing everything well, she would be like, nah, he's got some weird delusions and needs to get out of here. But you get stuff done, so you have to stay. And I hate that.
well, I would think that this fight could actually be a pretty decisive point for the group. Like how it goes and how we sort of, quote, work together, because there is that tension within the group of like sort of differing ideas and differing approaches. Yeah, I could see. Yeah, because I'm a little bit like it's interesting to hear Corndog hear you say that Ficus is thinking about leaving, because in some ways it feels like Leaf is getting close to the point of just like letting Uther go do his own thing. It's like, okay, that's not what we think is the best choice. So if you're gonna do that, from this point, you're on your own. Because Solaire and Ficus and Leaf, and for the most part Bright, seem to sort of be on the same page a lot of the time. And so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I think Ficus was like in that mindset of like, okay, at least I've got the 4, but after Bright's conversation
right
with Uther the night before, Ficus is just like, I can't separate those two. Like, even when they hated each other, and Ficus was kind of put as like the middle person in that night of fighting where Uther was like, keep Bright away from me.
Yeah.
Like, Ficus was like, okay, like, it's 4v1 if it ever comes to it. But now, since it's switched to like potentially 3 versus 2, Ficus is just like, I don't want any part of this anymore. In a lot of regards, like, she's here because she cares, she loves Solaire, even though she doesn't like know how to talk with him well. She's like, I don't understand him, this is great.
It's okay, you have
but
like
Leaf,
8
she's
hours
like,
a day more bonding with him now.
so much more time for bonding. Solaire is never gonna do a watch well again.
I'm so sorry.
But Leaf is just like, I think Leaf is who she's probably most comfortable with, just because they both come from similar places. They're both very like naturally based and stuff like that, and so she's just like,
yeah,
I guess we'll just see how it plays out. is what
Yeah,
it
I
comes
would
down
say
to.
it's
Is that
similar.
a lot of how it plays out.
Funny enough, Uther is very much on the same page with that. He's just like, let them do what they're gonna do, and then when it falls apart, we do what we need to do. Like that's where he's at now.
Mhm.
Like the whole thing with the map where it's just like, all right, which way are we gonna go? It's just the discussions. He's just like, okay, gave them their 10 minutes. I'm walking. Like that's just where he's at now. And if nobody follows him, he genuinely does not care. Like something
See,
needs to get done, and I'm going to do it. And if they want to bicker about it, let them. I don't care.
I'm okay with that, but at the same time, like it puts us in a weird place as players who know, like, okay, the party needs to stay together. Because like if I were this person, I genuinely would be like, fine, if you're gonna walk off, I'm gonna stop following you and you're gonna have to deal with that. But we can't just let you do that in a game where we're all supposed to be doing stuff together, and so it feels a little bit less genuine there.
That's fine. When even the DM's kind of like looking around, like, all right, guys, come on, let's move. Then that's generally when Uther's like, okay, gonna Uther now.
Yeah.
Well, that's true in every game too, to some degree or other. It's like it's easy to get caught up in the minutia of stuff without realizing that's what you're doing. I tend to be the same kind of character, generally speaking, of like, okay, we're gonna go this party can't decide, fine, I'm moving and see what happens. So I totally relate.
Yeah, and that's what Uther is. Uther is we can't decide on what to do, and we're just gonna do something.
Sure,
it's just tinged with a bit of like, oh, also if I need to, I'm more than willing to become the bad guy. Like that's just what it is with this guy. It's just.
Well, there's also a really funny thing about planning in D&D. I mean, any TTRPG that you play, you can sit down and plan for an hour.
Yeah.
And then you know that combat's going to take another 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because anytime I watch all those plans, they hardly ever go the way you think they will.
Yeah.
I mean, the number of TTRPG plans that go the way you think they'll go is so slim that
This one's gonna go, I promise.
you know the entire idea that okay, yeah, we'll start this is why we're having 2 weeks to plan. I sent all of you the map.
Yep.
That I'm going to use.
Mm-hmm.
So the shrine is in the bottom left of that map.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see the 3 large stones of the Fanes, and then the center altar for the Fane of or for the Weaver Fane, which is the shrine. And Baba Lysaga.
You almost messed it up. You caught yourself. Baba Lysaga.
You don't want to say it.
No, I don't want to say it wrong. I'm staring at the lasagna gif that I put in chat.
Yeah, you did to yourself this time.
You did this to yourself.
But to the upper, just about 24 feet away is where she usually lands. So this is what Muriel, the wereraven, has told you to plan and prepare for, and that's what you're preparing for. And that's what the end cutscene showed.
Yeah.
Well, I should say, showed a young woman with luxurious blonde hair.
We know.
I mean, and the thing is, like, in character, this is not the first time that this group has made plans. And in character, Uther understands they never go right. The only thing that remains consistent is I'm generally gonna stand in front of something, and it's gonna hit me, and I'm gonna hit it until one of us falls down. And that's the only thing that's consistent. So you guys can discuss how best you're gonna hide or do whatever. I'm gonna do what I know, no matter what you plan, is going to remain consistent, which is I'm gonna stand here and I'm gonna cut his goddamn head off. That's Uther in a nutshell. It's just it makes sense.
It's also funny for me as the DM to know that you're planning this.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the I think that's what's going to be funniest.
Oh yeah.
Because the thing to keep in mind is you have fought this person once, and you were very close to killing her.
Yeah.
And we were completely tapped from the skeleton. Like, or from the scarecrows. Like,
Right.
that's kind of what Bright was saying. Was like, if we're not breaking ourselves fighting other people and then her, then we'll do fine. We just need to, like, slow down and think about it for one hot second.
But you
Yeah.
remember, all damage
That's-
did most of the work last fight.
Fall damage did some work last fight. Yep.
Yeah. So that's going in the planning thread.
Uther's one question is, all right, tell me, does your plan involve me being in front of the thing until I cut its head off?
Look, ideally,
My
the
job
plan-
is done here.
Ideally, the plan involves how can we get you up there the fastest. Like, it's not about we're trying to say no to your plan. We're trying to help you do your job better.
I'm gonna jump up there, and then I'm
Hey.
gonna cut his goddamn head off.
Yeah, you barely made the jump, so let's make sure you jump better next time. Like, that's what it is. I'm not saying
I
your
had
ideas
4
are
life
bad.
draining leeches in me. Cut me some slack.
Oh, so how far into Curse of Strahd are we? So we do have a question from a
Perfect.
brand new sub. So thank you for the
Hey,
sub.
welcome.
Hey!
So the full story, we just finished our
It's
20.
our birthday.
It's our birthday. It's 1 year in real life. It's 24 sessions of playing, each of about 3 hours or so. We probably average 2.5 hours of playtime if I think about
Yeah.
the average, somewhere between 2.5.
We talk a lot.
And we're just starting the 8th in-day game. So how far into Curse of Strahd are we? Without spoiling it for anyone, for canon Curse of Strahd,
I can flash the conspiracy map if that would help. Look at all the places we've been and have thoughts about.
yeah, for canon Curse of Strahd, they have collected one of the 3 more or less required items. For my version of Curse of Strahd, they're on the threshold of collecting. They've already collected 1, 2, 3, 4 relevant items. They know where 3 important locations are. They've only been to 2 of those 3 important locations. So it's kind of, it's
We
a
have, like, 2
very,
people.
it's a very tough
There's a
question to
lot.
answer. They could finish this up in, well, I would say 10 in-game days, but that's another year in real lifetime. So, but they could.
Oh no, we're so
At
bad
the rate
at
we've
this.
been going.
They
yeah.
could. No.
We might need a scheduled discussion.
2 weeks feels like forever.
The plan is for us to be done in just a couple more months. Probably 2 at the most, which is only 4 or 5 more sessions.
We
One
need to
way
get
or the
our
other.
shit together.
One way or the other, they're going to get something forced on them. So how deep into Curse of Strahd are they? Well, they're pretty deep, but
Heck yeah.
not that deep. So it's a very difficult question to answer. Longtime campaigns are sweet, but we do
They
stream, and a couple of the players in here stream professionally in a lot of different places. So I can't I can't just occupy their time indefinitely. Well, I'll take it back. So, Shrub, if you talk to everybody you know, and our view count gets up to averaging 50 viewers a night, and we're getting, regular tips, we'll keep going as long as you want.
Yeah. If you pay us, we'll do the
You
work.
tell,
make
you
this
tell
our
your
profitable
friends,
stream.
you toss the bits, and we'll
We'll make it happen.
make it
true.
happen.
Get us the
but-
I got a magic item tonight. That's great.
Yep, a
Like,
magic item came tonight, so that was a reward for 2,000 bits.
Got
there is
another
a
1,100 for the pally.
1,100
Baby
for the
pally.
yep.
I'm
for
sorry.
baby pally.
So that's
So cute.
I'm not sure what to do with that. Probably a D4 of healing and then 2 good tables at some point. But
Or
we've got
maybe
lots of rewards.
You can give somebody a magic sword if you wanted to. I don't know.
I cast
Yeah, I
a
think
magic
Soul
weapon
needs
on
a
you.
magic sword.
Look,
I
you got what you got today, and
Yeah.
you know what it is.
you
Oh, that's. I can't wait. I cannot. I know you're gonna screw me with it.
Oh, 100%.
That
100%.
screams. That screams.
That
Well, I hope you got a
screams.
backup character. But I am ready for it.
I just want it to be clear when it's being used. That's
Yo, you'll know.
Oh no.
You'll know.
So-
be the funniest thing.
Ugh.
Shrub,
I'm afraid.
we're streaming with TPK
I'm so afraid
Roleplay.
of Noir.
All of us, some of us stream with TPK and that's it. Others stream on a number of different channels. So that's TPK's schedule that I just linked. And then Steam or Aether and Steamworks and the rest of them do fantastic work. Noir's just freaking everywhere anymore because the man's a beast, and I'm not even gonna try. But
Just too many places. Just go to my pinned tweet.
Yeah, you go to find the Noir Enigma on Twitter, go to the pinned tweet, and So that's pretty much our plan for the coming weeks. That's pretty much it for tonight. Any last things to say before we wrap up? We're about 10 minutes longer than I planned, but
I'm glad we got
Anything?
to have some
Yeah, we had
downtime,
some fun.
quote unquote.
Yep.
That caught me unawares, by the way. Just like asking about where I came from. That was cool.
Such is life.
hey, it's one of the very interesting things about doing games like this. You just,
Yeah.
you never know when those opportunities pop up.
Oh, you want backstory? Okay. What up?
Well, I want to thank you for joining us this evening. We had a blast. We enjoyed having you all here. We will be back in 2 weeks for this. We are going to go a raiding, and we are going to be raiding. Hey, Critical Bard's on our raid list,
Woo!
but he is not playing. We're going to go to Ink and Liar because they are playing Dungeons and Dragons. Woo!
They're pretty
So.
cool.
Want to thank you for being here. Stick around for the raid. Shrub the DM. You can also check, depending on if you have a year's worth of time on your hands. There's our
True.
playlist.
It's a pretty good playlist, I gotta tell you.
uh,
I mean, I'm biased, but I like watching it too.
so, thank you so much. Until we see you next time, be good. Bye-bye.